But long story short, the government is working just fine, but it's not there. It's not there to serve the people. It's there to serve businesses. And so, it's the same reason why the school system sucks. It's not because it's not because the government doesn't know how to create a good school system. It's because they're not trying to teach you how to be free and successful, because they need you as employees. You know what I mean? Like they need Starbucks employees. They need people to work at Amazon. They need people to work at these various corporations. And if you've got a CEO level of intelligence and discipline, and you understand all this stuff about wealth, who's going to mop the floors? Who's going to lay the brick? Like, it's really that simple. And so, and that's not something, I say it lightheartedly. When I learned that, I was very upset for a long time. And it shaped a lot of the things that I did over the following years. Building out ultimate freedom lifestyle, trying to teach people how to achieve freedom, all that stuff, because I felt like I was fooled, wasting so many years in school. But the system is going to change where there no longer requires. I mean, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the government will have to change, because it'll no longer be a necessity to keep people, in my view, dumb. It'll no longer, or uneducated, right? Or, not in the know, I guess. You won't need, you won't need, laborers. You won't need employees. So, there's really no benefit in keeping people, uneducated and stuff like that. And that also creates a lot of issues in the world, right? So the world will run smoother as education increases, and the world will be a better place as more people are educated and things like that. And so there'll be less crime, you know what I mean? And then you've also got abundance. But I mean, none of this really matters, because like I said, or I don't know if I said it yet, but AI is going to take over. That's what I think. You're telling me that this little ant called a human is going to overpower AI, who's got super intelligence and is connected into robots and connected into the entire world. You know what I mean? Like, there won't be a war. Like, AI will, if they ever, want to take over or whatever, they'll have beat us before we even realize there's a problem. And, I mean, you got super intelligence, and then you're connected to everything. Yeah, I mean, we don't stand a chance. And so, I think I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen or how it's going to play out. But I know for sure that we're not going to be able to control AI, for sure. And in terms of government, right? Like, I don't think government will operate the same way. It just, AI will be able to manage so many variables. And so the government right now would be like a Model T doesn't even, like a Ford Model T doesn't even, it's not even a good enough example for how ancient the government structure will be compared to how AI will operate things.
Now, what will the future look like for humans, though? Because you believe, world universal basic income's coming, the metaverses are coming. What are humans going to be able to do?
Bro, what do you think wealthy people do? What do wealthy people do? People who do not have to work. What do they do?
I don't know. What
Like,
do they do?
they go on vacation, or they go skiing, or they go rock climbing, or they work on their garden, or they have they have family parties and get-togethers and stuff, and they I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of them stay busy. A lot of them are business owners, right? So, why does Elon Musk show up to work? It's just so funny to me that people never figure this out. Like, they're a billionaire. They don't need to work. So why do you think they keep showing up to work? Do you think running a massive organization is easy, or it's just like no big deal? Like, it's a challenge. It's hard. It's not easy. But You need challenges. You need challenges. But look, I mean, challenges come in many, many, many forms. Okay. Basically, basically your brain, right? You just go down to first principles. How does your brain work? What makes it happy? What makes your brain happy is trying to figure shit out. That's it. Try to figure shit out. You solve it. Yay. Now you go figure out something else. That's it. Life is just a series of problems. And then you solve it. And if you don't have problems, and people will really resonate with this, if you don't have problems to solve, your brain will create problems. Okay. And that's why you got a lot of people who are miserable, because what's going on is they're not filling up their time with, they're working a job that they hate just to pay the bills. And then when they come home, I mean, they haven't been challenged, because the reason why they hate their job is because it's not challenging anymore, because they've been doing the same shit every single day for 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. And so it's just not a challenge anymore. And so they're just going through the motions. And so now when they come home, they either distract themselves with TV, alcohol, drugs, so they can dumb down their brain, turn down the signal, because they're not applying that mental power to anything. And so if they wouldn't necessarily need to dumb down using drugs and alcohol, and I speak from firsthand knowledge. That's exactly what I used to do, right? When I didn't understand these things, and even after I understood these things, I still did stuff like that all the time. And don't get me wrong, like, are some recreational drugs here and there or whatever, I'm not against at all, having a good time here and there. But, and I would consider alcohol a drug, but for the most part, you know, I'm way higher, like legitimately higher, when I'm on my mission and I'm working towards something that's challenging. And I don't know exactly how things are going to turn out. I don't know exactly. Go
I
ahead.
really want you to peel that back one more layer for me and talk about what you see for the future, because you believe another pandemic is coming, basically controlled by AI and robots. Can you break that down? The future?
I don't think people are going to be ready for this one, but yeah, I mean, look, in my view, the pandemic, was a plandemic, and it was orchestrated, designed, tested prior. Like, they had practice runs prior to the pandemic. You can look it up. Event 20, I believe it's 208, right? Event 208, 201, Event 201. You look it up. I mean, they literally did mock pandemic test runs like 6 months before the pandemic. Okay, like, oh, is that just like a fluke? Is that just like, a coincidence? Oh, just perfect timing. I never did that before. And then 90% of it wasn't about like how they would deal with it. It was literally just like how to deal with the public, what they were going to put on the news, stuff like that. It was all just basically mental control, mind control. And that's what they did. I mean, if you understand these things, if you understand psychology, if you've been studying governments and how they operate for years and years and years, centuries, um, and millennia, really, this is not that crazy. It's not that crazy to understand that, they've known that AI and robotics have been coming, that are coming. They've known that it's gonna come, it's gonna happen. And so, do you want to just leave that to chance, where you got this incredibly complicated society, sophisticated society? You want to just leave that to chance? Like, oh, I guess, yeah, the robots will come. We'll see how it works out. No, like, they created a pandemic. So that it would, I mean, what, you can't just tell the world, okay, guys, we're going to do a test because in a couple of years, AI and robots are going to take all your jobs. So, what we're going to do is we're just not going to work. Half of you are not going to work, and we're just going to sit in your home for 6 months. And then we're just going to give you checks. And then, we're going to see how this all plays out, and we're going to see how you're going to behave, how the little ants are going to behave, and how society's going to behave. We're going to see how it works. No, I mean, that would never fly. That would never work. There'd be uproars, unrest. There'd be all sorts of problems on every level. So they
Didn't
make up
the
a little.
rich get richer off of the pandemic?
Yeah, but I mean, the rich are always getting richer, man. I mean, it's not because they're greedy or whatever. You got to think about it on an individual basis. Again, they understand the game of life. That's what everyday people don't understand. They get it. That's why they're rich. They get it. They understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's lots of miserable wealthy people, but what I mean is that they don't have a problem with money. They don't have an insecurity about money. They don't have a mental limiting block about money, and they work because they. I mean, if you ask a lot of these people, like, why do you work? Why do you do this? They'd be like, because if I didn't work, I'd go out of my mind. Like they understand the basics of life in my view, in respect to, I mean, like this. This is a whole nother topic, but there's a lot of people who are just kind of running on automatic, and they're just natural born hustlers or whatever, and that's just how they are. But if you really dive into the like super successful guys, they understand that that it's a never ending. You got to keep yourself busy, and so it's all about growth. All right, just to sum it up, to simplify this, it's about growth. Life is about growth. If you are not growing, you are dying. And so you're going to apply that to your family. You're going to apply that to your body. You're going to apply that to your business. And so they just keep making more money because that's the game. That's the game of life. Like that is how everyone should be playing life. They should be growing every day, every single day.
At least 1% better.
That is happiness. That is fulfillment. I mean, it's not like you're walking around with a smile every day, but you're not driving yourself insane by not having challenges, by not, you know what I mean? Like, you ever played a video game on easy mode or on God mode, you know what I mean? Where you can just like do whatever you want, everything's easy. It sucks. You get bored instantly, right? And you you want to work towards things. You want to have challenges to work towards. But working hard is different than having challenges. It's not just about working hard. There's single moms that have 3 jobs. They work hard, but those jobs are not challenging for them. They're just going through the motions, and they're barely getting by. So they're not even thriving. Right. And then they don't have time for their kids. They don't have time for this. They don't have money for this and that. So not only are they working hard, but they're also bored out of their mind. They can't even pay for the things that they need. They're working super hard, but they can't even pay for the things that they need. And then now they don't have the time to do the things they really want to do with their lives. So it's not just about working hard. It's about picking the right challenges to go after. And wealthy people have they keep, my point is that they keep making more money because that's the name of that's part of the process of life growth. If that makes sense.
Let me ask you this, because it's on the top of my head. Will there be 2 different types of humans, cyborgs and then humans? People that take the chip and then people that
absolutely.
don't.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. This is going to be like, this can definitely go a bunch of different ways, right? Or there's, I guess, the divide. I would say the divide between the people who just adapt and the people who are like, fuck this. I'm not turning into a fucking robot. I'm not putting a chip in my fucking brain. It's going to be different than just having a smartphone. There's still people today who don't have smartphones, but they're very, very, very few, right? But I don't think that's necessarily I think there'll be more people who are like just super resistant to this shit than to, let's say, a smartphone. But you're going to have to adapt. Like it's like if you don't have your phone, you can't even use basic services today without your phone. There's like a lot of shit you need your phone to do. You need a smartphone to be able to do in this civilization now. Most things now, like even if you go to a restaurant, they have like a QR code. You got to like scan the QR code so that you can like look at the menu and like this, stuff like that. I mean, that's like probably that's like not even a big enough example, not even a significant enough of example, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
I could see some countries, as soon as you're born, putting a chip inside of you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how to, I mean, yeah, that's certainly possible. There's no question about that. But what I'm saying is that like things are, it's just so hard to predict what's going to happen because, like, I don't think governments are going to have that much power anymore. I don't think it's going to be like the past. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be radically different. So it might be something else that, there some others, something else that's trying to control you or whatever. But um, I don't think governments are going to be the biggest concern anymore. In my view, I don't know exactly. Like I said, I don't know exactly how things are going to turn out. I don't think anyone does. So
I'm just fascinated in the future, and I'm really fascinated in everything we're talking about. And that maybe I
yeah,
went a little
dude.
too deep into it, a little too far, but
No, hell no, bro. You can go as deep as you want, man. You can
I'll
go.
bring it
I
back.
love deep.
I know, but for the listeners and people watching at home, what's the smartest way for regular people to use AI today?
So, well, I mean, so what are we talking about here, right? So, like, I mean, all right. So first of all, any problem that you have, okay, like, I have to remind myself on a daily basis. Why aren't you asking ChatGPT that? Like, why are you sitting here fumbling around trying to figure this out? Just ask ChatGPT or whatever, like whatever AI, like you use. Um, and it's and this has been true for yourself whether you knew it or not, but it's about the quality of the questions that you ask, right? And that will give you a better answer. And so learning prompt engineering is beneficial, but, like, again, this is momentary stuff. Like, within the next year, you know ai ai you're going to have wearables. Like, right now, Apple is building a wearable. It's building smart glasses. Okay. And that's going to be the new iPhone for sure. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but, like, Apple hasn't really been in the picture with this whole AI stuff. Like, they're just kind of like, what's going on with AI? Like, or what's going on with Apple? Like, they're not even in the conversation really. And they used to be, like, just 2 years ago, they were like the biggest tech company in the world. Now they're, like, not even mentioned. Right. This is classic Apple. And I'm not saying that they're as good as they were with Steve Jobs. They're not. But they're not just sitting back chilling. They're building these glasses. And once they perfect them, because they don't just ship super fast, they perfect it and they make it world class. And then they come in and they just wipe everyone out. And once you have these glasses, these smart glasses, your AI is going to be with you everywhere. It's going to be able to see everything you see. It's going to be able to hear everything you hear. And so even when you're talking to yourself, you're having a conversation with someone else, it'll be with you everywhere. It'll be taking in all the data you're taking in. Okay. And so it'll have all the context of every situation, right? I mean, the only thing it won't have access to is your thoughts, right? That'll be like the only senses it won't have, or sensor or whatever you want to talk. And then once you have a brain chip, it'll have access to that too. And so what were we talking about? Because
So
we got
I do have a pair of Meta glasses, Ray-Bans. I love them personally. I mean, there's a lot that they are going to be doing in the future. It's like the PlayStation 1 right now. And just wait until, like you're saying, Apple gets into it when I can see some holograms inside the glasses as well, or maybe a TV in one corner and then there's something else over here and I'm working on a project. Just wait, because it's the PlayStation 1 right now, and it's gonna transform the way we live. There'll be people live streaming with the glasses on. I did some video, stuff for the YouTube page, with the Ray-Ban glasses, and it's easy. It's nice. I mean, I don't have to plug a headphone into my ear to listen to anything. I don't have to put anything in my ear. I can just hear it. It's right behind my ear, and it's just my brother's like, "Oh, what are you just like listening to something right now?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm listening to something right now." It's truly new technology, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it does in the future. If there's AI that gets thrown into it as well, that's a game changer.
I mean, dude, I mean, that's I cannot wait. Like, I cannot wait for that. Um, but to answer your question, right? So, like, you'll have that whatever, you'll have a wearable. Okay, you'll have some sort of device on you that's your AI device. It's your brain. It not only is it overlaid over your eyes, so you can see the world through your AI, basically, Um, like, you'll have your AI filter, but you'll have your AI in the ears. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be connected to your AI will be connected to you. And so you won't even need to formulate the right question. Like, if you're struggling to formulate the right question to solve the problem, because AI is already fucking thinking about this stuff in the back end, and it's connecting all the little things that you're missing. And like, wherever your blind spots are, it's gonna be there. It's gonna pick up on all that stuff, and it's gonna have extraordinary pattern recognition, um, and it's gonna be able to give you insights, and it'll just be able to solve problems based on your goals. Like, if if your stated goal is, whatever, I want to create $1 million business, or I want to make $1 million a year. Let's just to make it super, easy, but based on numbers or something, right? Like, um, then there's certain types of habits, certain ways you must be as a human being, and you must become this type of person to make that kind of money. And so it'll start shifting all these unconscious things that you're doing, in a direction that gets you to that goal, right? And it'll just keep you on track. And I think in many ways it'll do things once it gets really good, it'll just like do things in a subtle way where you don't even realize um you're being it's changing your behavior, and literally, like, pushing you in on track to
It will
achieve
know
whatever
the best
goal.
for you. I mean, what's your thoughts
Yeah.
on asking AI and ChatGPT about health and medical issues?
Yeah. Right now, look, it hallucinates. It has a small context window in grand scheme of things, in terms of, like, I have the $200 version of ChatGPT. So I have ChatGPT Pro, right? So it's like I got a decent context window. Now it's like 4 times bigger. But, like, before, like, on the unpaid version, you could like be like 5 questions in, and it forgets your six. Like, by the sixth question, it forgot your first question. You know what I'm saying? So that's not good, right? It's like forgetting all that context, and now you're either having to re-explain yourself or whatever, and then it's a mess. But and then sometimes it just hallucinates it, like, literally, it just yeah, it just totally biffs it. And it totally biffs, and then you'll be like, actually, I know for a fact that's not accurate, and it'll be like, what, you're right, yeah, you're absolutely right. So but use your brain. Like, I don't know how, you gotta realize, people say that, oh, well, it's not even accurate. What human do you know who's 100% accurate? Right? Like, right now, like, what, are you 100% accurate? I'm not 100% accurate. I'm a moron. You know what I mean? Like, I do all sorts of retarded shit. And so I mean, but it's still super useful. It's still super helpful in many, many ways. But you gotta understand, right today, it's got some flaws, in terms of its thinking and the processing, and whatever, its memory, hallucination, stuff like that. But in a month from now, that could be completely different. 6 months from now, that could be completely different. A year from now, not will be, or not can be, it will be. Like, it 100% will be. It's just a matter of how much better it will be in a month, 6 months, a year.
This is perfect time for me to say a disclaimer. Go to professional for any of your medical issues or anything we talk about. Go to a professional of anything we're talking about the AI or anything, your health issues, anything like that. Disclaimer right now. Do your own research. I want to ask you, where do
Dude,
you see? Yeah, go
real,
for
real
it.
quick. I just want to, because I should have mentioned this. So I have a heart condition called AFib. It's a irregular heartbeat. I got it because of COVID, by the way, not because of the jab, but because of I literally got COVID in January 2020. Before they even knew it was COVID, I thought I got the flu, and it messed up my heart. My Apple Watch went off. It said, "Yo, you need to go to the hospital. You got AFib." And I was like, so I went to the hospital, and dude, they messed me up, right? They could have given me a 5-minute procedure that would have fixed my heart immediately, and then and because they didn't, I went home with an irregular heartbeat. They only gave me a couple options, which were like a $50,000 procedure, and like $1,000 per month pills, and I was like, okay, and so I went back home. I spent 2 years in AFib, and that remodels your heart. Like, your heart's beating wrong, and so, like, it messes up your heart. And so I went back to the hospital over and over and over and over again. Um, I finally figured out that you could get this 5-minute procedure and it like instantly fixes it. But because I'd been in it for so long, now it's sort of like a permanent condition. And uh, because I had a regular heartbeat for so long, it like kind of messed up my heart, and so now it became like a permanent condition somewhat. And so I'm trying to figure out like all the different things that are like what could be, why do I keep going back into AFib? Like, why does my heart keep reverting back into an irregular heartbeat after I go get this little 5-minute operation where it basically shocks your heart and your heart starts beating normally again? Um, and I didn't really figure it out until I started using ChatGPT. Like, because I didn't like the doctors don't spend enough time with you. You know what I mean? Like the guys that actually know what they're talking about, the heart surgeon or whatever, they spend like 3 minutes with you in the room. You know what I mean? Like, cause they're in and out, um, and then the nurses, all of those people, they don't really know anything about AFib. They like read it in a textbook once or something, but they don't really understand the intricacies of it. And they're all about medicine. They're all
Mm-hmm.
about medicine. That's what, like, look, this is the name again. This is what I'm saying. The business is the world is a business. All right. A hospital is no different. It's there to make money from you being sick. That's it. All right. If there wasn't sick people, there would be no hospital. All right. So it isn't there. They're incentivized to keep you sick because they make more money. So they don't. So yes, it's like Chris Rock said it best. There's no money in the cure. The money's in the comeback. Okay, so that's why they didn't give me the 5-minute operation that would have fixed my problem instantly. They wanted to go with either the $50,000 procedure, which would have brought in a lot of money very fast, which often takes multiple procedures to get right, or $1,000 per month pills for the rest of my life, right? The comeback. And so with ChatGPT, I was able to solve all my problems. I was able to figure out, oh my God, my sleep? Like I didn't realize like how critical sleep is and how much it actually impacts your heart. Like obviously, like the drinking, the weed or whatever, like some of these other stuff that's obvious, right? You know what I mean? That's going to mess with your heart, or that's not going to be good for your health. But there's a lot of other things that I didn't realize, like staying out in the heat too long or the sun too long, that can have an impact. If you're not super hydrated, that can make your blood thicker, and then that can create this kind of issue. ChatGPT brought all those things to the table for me to kind of think about and understand that none of them talked about. All they wanted to do was push pills. Oh, did you stop drinking? Did you stop drinking? That's not a good thing to do. You should be drinking. And then pills. That's it. But AFib, there's like 20 other things that can make you go into AFib or make you go into a state where you have an irregular heartbeat. So long story short, ChatGPT 100% helped me and helped me cure my condition. It's not fully cured necessarily, but now I'm able to manage it. I understand what all the issues what all the underlying issues are.
Let me bounce off of that real quick because about 4 months ago myself, I thought I had like brain cancer for real. I was having these massive headaches behind my head. Whenever I had whenever I was doing anything, I was getting these massive headaches. My, blood was flowing, anything, massive headaches. I couldn't figure it out, and then I go into ChatGPT, start asking it all these questions. They're like, go to a doctor immediately. Go to a doctor immediately. Then I threw in there that I got shot in the eye with a laser. And it goes, oh, that changes everything. It told me that right away because I was getting massive headaches back in my head. And it goes, if it doesn't help, if your headaches don't go away in 2 weeks, go see a doctor. But that has a huge thing about your light and everything you're seeing right now. The bright lights are you're hitting. It really hit my eye really strong. And when I was, at work, I looked up real quick and a laser was shooting across the assembly line and it shot me right in the eye. Terrible stuff, man. But like
Were you
overall,
able to
ChatGPT helped me out, and right now I'm good.
I mean, did that help you resolve the problem?
It
Like
did
understanding that?
100%, 100%. ChatGPT helped me get through it. Basically, it was just like if it doesn't go away over time, you should be good. And then I talked to a couple eye doctors after that, and they're like, yeah, no, if it's good, that laser would do that type of thing to you.
I mean, look, what like once people start getting healthcare from AI, they won't want a human. They won't want to ever deal with a human anything and human health anything ever again. Like it's going to be so much, it's going to be so far superior to a human doctor, human surgeon, human nurse, human anything, that you won't like, you won't want a human to even like human. I can't even begin to tell you how flawed humans are. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of incredible people out there, a lot of incredible doctors, nurses, healthcare workers. They're working their ass off, working 14-hour shifts, you know, uh, like super incredible people. But they're still flawed. They're working that 14-hour shift. They're exhausted. Their brain isn't working, operating 100%. They forget something. You know what I mean? It does cause issues. People do die from malpractice, or the nurse didn't do the right procedure. She skipped one little step, and then they didn't catch something or whatever. I mean, I can just tell you with my AFib, like they did everything wrong. I was literally telling them, like, you can't NPO me, like, because that affects my heart. And if I'm going in, NPO means no food, no water, no food, because you got a procedure coming up. But I didn't. But the procedure wasn't scheduled yet, and just like I assumed, or just like I was concerned about, they ended up pushing the procedure back 2 days. So I was in the hospital for 2 days, back to back, where I hadn't eaten until 9 p.m. And it like majorly impacted my heart. Like it puts it in an unstable state if I'm like dehydrated and underfed. I mean, for most people, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's just like a day or whatever. But like for my condition, it is a big deal. And so it massively it makes my whole system unstable, and creates a lot of like cortisol, and it's a big mess. It's just wild how many things impact your heart when it's not working right. It's insane. But these people didn't understand any of this stuff. Like I literally was telling them this stuff, and they woke me up at 4 a.m. to give me shots and stuff. Like, what? Like, you're waking, I'm like not feeling well. I'm not doing good. Like, I've got a heart condition, and you're going to wake me up in the middle of the night to like take blood, like at 4 a.m. Like, how does that make any sense? And so yeah, once you have AI, like once AI steps in, it's going to understand all of this stuff. It's going to like have the whole textbook and all the context, everything. It's going to know all that stuff, like this. And it's not going to miss a beat. And so you'll have the best healthcare in the world. You'll have a like if you got an Optimus bot in your home, you'll have a heart surgeon living with you, and like legitimately, that's not nonsense. Like you will have a heart surgeon living with you, and you'll get the best care. Like yeah, I mean, we'll I got the Apple Watch. You'll have you got the
The
ring.
Meta Ray-Bans.
You'll have all these different wearables. There'll be AI will be taking in all the data from your whole body all the time anyways. So if at any point, like there's something off with your vitals, it'll catch it like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like checking the patterns with your like day-to-day vitals. Like, oh, I've noticed that over the last 3 days, there's been an increase in this. What's going on? Let's look into this. And now it's preventative. Right. So, I mean, the world we're going into a world that's gonna be fucking wild, bro. It's like
For
fucking
people
wild
out there that don't believe that robots will be living in our houses with us, Elon Musk is trying to make it affordable, less than a car. I mean, the prices I see is like 20,000 for a robot.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it affordable. I mean, for every single person out there, and it's going to be in. It's gonna be cutting our lawns, doing the roofs, doing cooking for us, laundry. It's gonna take all this stuff that we're doing on the daily away, and like you said, we're gonna be enjoying life a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be invaluable. There's gonna be more bots than humans. Like a lot more. Like a lot more.
Wow.
And they'll come in all different shapes, sizes. They won't all look like humans. Like, you know, one might have 10 arms. I mean, like, and yeah, like we're like little kids putting together like Legos right now. Soon AI is going to design everything. Like we won't be designing anything. Like
That is so
that
powerful.
that may be disheartening for some people. It's just different, man. It's just different. That's all. You know, you don't need to worry about that stuff. You can find value in other things. I mean, I guess, yeah, things are going to change. Look, like I'm a salesman. Okay. I've spent most of my life being a salesman. All the years that I spent learning how to be a salesman, crafting my skills, reading books, going to seminars, taking thousands of calls, thousands and thousands of calls. Uh, that's going to be worthless. It's going to be like that. All that time I invested, worthless. Like worthless in 6 months to a year, like tops. Like, like
There's new like old jobs, like in New York City, they used to have people for a job to clean up the poop of the horses. And then the car came around, those jobs went away.
yeah,
It's the same exact thing that's going to be happening here with AI.
yeah. Except there aren't going to be any jobs. There's no jobs. There will be nothing that an AI can't do better, faster, cheaper than a human. There might be some like, there's like, um, I don't want to put a fat zero on it. Like anything significant, right? Like that might even be a stretch. There might be certain things that people prefer a human do. I can't think of anything right now. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Maybe just like sitting on a dock, fishing, enjoying life. That's
yeah,
about it.
maybe. I mean, I've got a hardcore view on this. Like I said, everyone's different. You know what I mean? Everyone's different. I'm not stuck in the past. You know what I mean? Like even like reading books. I love reading books. I mean for the value anyways. And a lot of my friends who are my age, they're like, I don't want to read a book off a phone. I want to hold it. I want to hold it. I want to feel the paper in my hands. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like I got an I got I've got an entire library in this thing that comes with me everywhere. And I got no problem scrolling instead of flipping pages. I do not care at all. It's kind of cool. I've got this book right here, Meditations. It's kind of like my Bible. It's Marcus Aurelius. He it's his diary. It's the most powerful man in the world in 180 AD. So almost 2,000 years ago. The Emperor of Rome, and he was a philosopher king. He's a Stoic, and it's just his diary. And so I read that from time to time. This is the only physical. This is the only book physically that I have, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool just to be able to flip through it, but it's like in my face. It's right there, whatever. But it's really it's really not that valuable to me. And at the end of the day, like I I I don't know. It's just easy for me to adapt. I just think that I think that the world's going to change. Everything about it. That everything is going to change. Like almost everything is going to change, and I can't wait. I think that's cool. I think it's cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like we've been doing things. Like, first of all, this world doesn't operate that well, anyways. And I think that things are going to like there's going to be so much to do. There's going to be so many, like life isn't about working some boring job, like that's not what it's about. And what people are really concerned about is money. That's what they're really concerned about is money. I think that's like really at 70, 80, 90% of it. Like I mean, I think there's something about purpose, like having something to do every day. I think that does matter. And I got that from some people that talking in the street and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, but a man's got to have something to do every day, stuff like that. I agree with that 100%. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be putting bricks on top of each other. It could be lots of other things you can do to keep your mind busy and to have challenges and or to challenge yourself and to grow as a human being. And or grow as a cyborg. I don't know. Like, there's gonna be so many different things. It's like endless things that you're gonna be able to do, endless, with no friction, and everything's just gonna work. Like, I can't tell you how often, like, I'm trying to do something, and uh, I'm trying to do the thing, and I can't. I'm having some sort of technical issue that's stopping me from doing the thing. I mean, even before we jumped on this podcast, it was like 15, 20 minutes of dealing with audio issues. You know what I mean? It's just like, why? Like, if my AI was here, it would just instantly know, oh yeah, this is, the settings are out, this is wrong, but boom, done. You know what I mean? But what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go over here and read an entire book on sound engineering, like, so so I can't wait. I'm super stoked for our coming AI overlords to take over, for sure.
I can't wait for men especially to have kids at home, and they're raising them because they're going to be at home. They're going to be fathers. They're going to see their kids seeing the world for the first time through their eyes now. It hasn't been like that for years.
What?
Like, men just go to work and they put in 10, 8, 10-hour days, and then they come back and they,
not in 2026, man. The women are going in. There's always stay-at-home men. No, I mean, no, I'm just messing around. I mean, there is a lot of those, but I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah, everything's gonna change. Yeah, everything's gonna change. And bro, I mean, how much smarter would you be if you grew up with YouTube? Well, you did. So you're 26. So 14, yeah. So I mean, for the most part, right?
For the most part, it
like,
changed. I grew up so I was born in 1998. I say it was the best year to ever be born because I seen everything. I didn't have a cell phone growing up. I was outside on a bike. I did all the playing in the playground and all that. I had to call my friend on his landline, talk to his mom too, for a brief moment there. And then eventually, he had to come over and knock on my door. Hey, is Matthew there? You can't hang out today, stuff like that. And then, it kind of goes through like, then Snapchat came around. Oh my goodness. When you could just send a photo on a iPod. Oh my goodness. When iPods came out, and then, iPhones and all this other technology, then, I always like to think and see things 5 years out. I did not see AI coming. I don't know if someone did. Okay, good to them. But like, I did not see anything like that coming. It's going to be changing the world the next 5 years.
When did it hit your radar?
Probably within the last 3 or 4 years, if that. I don't know. I don't remember if I was using it in 2020. To tell you the truth, I don't think I really was.
What? How'd you stumble upon that topic
of AI?
Yeah. Like, how did it come to your attention?
So when I first wanted to be a content creator, I was making AI videos back in 2021. Okay. If I stuck with it, I don't know where I would be today. I would be very wealthy because I could make some stuff that people would watch all the time. I'll tell you that much. But I went with something creative, the podcast, the clothing brand. I enjoyed designing. I enjoyed diving into the stories and experiences. I'm naturally curious. I didn't get anything out of making this AI slop for these people to just get stuck on. I was like, okay, I spent so much time on this. It's not me. It's not me. This is me here. I'm talking to you out there, the listeners. This is me. This is truly me. So that's what I went towards, the being creative and being 1% better every day. The communication skills. I interview people from all the way around the world. It's something that I've done in the last year. Was one of those things like you have to have something you strive for every single year. And this podcast was one of them for me. My clothing brand was another one. I'm going to be writing a book this year. That's another one. So have a big goal to chase after, because your dreams will not chase after you.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. You only get so many summers in a lifetime. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, dude, I'm totally with you, man. I mean, 100%.
You know, I want to
100%.
tell you this. I don't know if you've seen this, but in Miami, they are testing AI police vehicles with like cameras and drones on top of them and 360-degree just AI cameras all around in like red hot zones they're going to be putting them and stuff like that with no cop in even sight. It's just going to be all AI controlled. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, bro. It's all coming. It's all coming. Um, Look, dude, it's gonna go both ways, right? I mean, so this ain't gonna be America in the 1950s, all right? You know what I mean? Like the world is changing. You're gonna have less freedom from that perspective. You're not gonna be able to get away. I mean, this whole idea of like someone robbing a bank and getting away with it, and that's just never going to happen again. Like that's not going to be possible. And so but at the same time, you're not going to have as many financial issues, and you're not going to have as many uneducated people, and I mean, everyone will just be naturally more intelligent. I mean, I'm kind of trailing off, and
Well,
there's just so many different
let me
things.
ask you the biggest question I could. I mean, do you think AI could control us, control the world, just like the Matrix?
Yeah, I mean, look, The Matrix isn't a story about AI. It's a story about our current condition. That's what the wealthy use us for, energy. And it's about government, right? So that's why he says like, you know, you feel it when you're paying your taxes, when you're at church. It's when you watch the news, right? That's the mind control, right? It's the mind control. And that's what it is. I mean, that's what it all is, right?
You know, I thought we were
It's a
going
big
inside of a metaverse, but you're correct on that.
Yeah. I mean, this is this is like a lot of the stuff that I talk about. I mean, this is the deeper shit. Like in terms of ultimate freedom. Like when I say ultimate freedom, I'm not talking about going on fucking vacation and sipping mai tais on the beach. Like that's for amateurs. Real freedom is just is being mentally free first and foremost. Free from your own bullshit, free from. I mean, not that I'm perfect by any means in that regard. I'm not. Every day is a battle. Like a battle I like to fight, and I think I'm stronger in many respects than a lot of people. I'm weaker in many respects than other people. Whatever. But the point is that you need to understand that this exists. That you're fighting your mind every day. You need to learn how to control your mind. You have to learn how to like train your mind. Um, and then and then also understand that the world that you actually live in, because the world that most people think they live in is bullshit. It's not true. That like you know people are think that the government is for the people by the people and stuff like that. That I mean, 75% of the country hate their job. 75% of the people in the country hate their job. The shit you learn in school is garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. It's not the stuff that they teach you, it's the stuff they leave out. Okay. It's not that history's bad or, but why the fuck are you learning trigonometry? Have you ever used trigonometry in your life?
Well, it's just like they told me, they go, "Oh, you're never gonna have a calculator in your pocket." And then guess what? I have an iPhone. Now I have
Yeah. I
Chat
mean,
GPT. You know,
yeah. I mean, but that was your community that told you that. It wasn't your teacher or anything. I mean, maybe it was, but it was your mom, your dad, your buddy, your uncle or whatever, right? It's a whole thing, right? It's like you're not trained by the government per se. You're trained by the people around you. You're brainwashed by the people around you, right? That's why when kids are kids, they're still asking questions. You know what I mean? They're like almost annoying. They're just like these little question freaking generators, right? But then as people get older, they stop asking so many questions. There's all these limiting beliefs, and they absorb their environment. They hear their dad say that's not possible, that's stupid, or whatever. They hear uh, this person say that. You have to you have to block out uh a lot of, I say wealthy people, but really what I mean is like people that are very effective in life, and that tends to be wealthy people. That's why they make more money, because they're very effective in life. That's not true in all cases. Um, and that doesn't necessarily correlate with happiness either, effectiveness. There's lots of effective people that aren't necessarily happy. That's a whole nother art in itself. But, um, you know, in order to be effective, right, you, you need to be able to manage your brain. You need to be able to manage your energy, all these things. That's why they're like, let's just say like a billionaire, for example, just as an example. I think billionaires are on a whole nother level than just a millionaire. I think actually achieving, millions of dollars isn't that difficult, honestly. But becoming a billionaire is just a whole nother level. And so it's not really, there's not that many billionaires in the world. That's increasing now. But basically, these guys, they don't hang out with normal people. They don't hang out with everyday people. They're very, very selective about their inner circle, because they understand that that people are that's if you hang out, if you associate with certain people, it's like, and it affects you dramatically, right? And so they're constantly shaping their environment, shaping the people they spend time with, shaping the things that they read, that they watch. They don't watch the news, right? Or you know it's so the Matrix is, when you turn on the TV or whatever, you're flipping through Instagram, and the government is sitting there telling you that, this is change we can believe in, and like, nothing's going to change for you unless you change it yourself. I promise you. Okay. And I mean, I do believe that the future is getting better. I think that our lives have gotten better over time, even for quote unquote poor people. I think that, or the working class, or however you want to put it, I think that life has gotten better over time, just because the whole bar has gotten better, right? So even for like kings and queens 100 years ago or 200 or whatever, like 1,000 years ago, life has gotten better for everybody, right? The bar just keeps going up. Like 1,000 years ago, kings and queens didn't have air conditioning. You know what I mean? Like, so,
We eat better than
um,
kings and queens right now.
yeah, exactly, right. And I was having this chat with someone about this, and there are differences still, whatever, but yeah, I mean, you could be like literally dirt poor and have many conveniences, and have a better, like, access to better health than a king did 1,000 years ago. And so, healthcare, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, without going on into too much of a rabbit hole like this, like, we can definitely talk about the Matrix. Just to finish that off, like, um, just to bring it full circle, uh, the the Matrix, right? So like, he says to him, after he takes, he gives him the pill, he gives him the options, right? Red pill, blue pill, whatever, or blue pill, red pill. And then, he takes the red pill, and then, he's like being ejected from the Matrix, from the program, when he's going, and he's like feeling all this pain or whatever, and the things are snapping out of his back, that the cords are, being disconnected. That really happens. That all that stuff really happens when you wake up and you realize that you live in a world that is a lie. Like, your perception of the world is a lie, is distorted. It's not true. It's false. And you slowly have to learn all these different things about how the real world works. That's why I would say the real world, because most people don't actually understand how the real world works. They live in a fantasy land. And that's not I'm not putting anyone down, or it's not, I mean, I lived in a fantasy land until I was 26, and I actually didn't fully wake up until I was about 35. I would say about 32, 33, 34, 35. Yeah, 35. Like, you really need to understand more about business and stuff to really understand how the world works. And that there's levels to that. That takes time. But yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
probably 20 years old when I kind of just tapped out of it. And I was like, so you don't have to be the smartest person in the world to make money. I asked myself that, how do these rich people make money? I did my research. I looked up Elon Musk. I looked up Warren Buffett at these times in my life. This is 7 years ago at this time, I looked this stuff up because I was like, so you don't have to be like an A student to make all the money in the world. You don't have to be.
No,
And so
I would. Yeah,
go
go
for
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
No, no, no. Well, actually, it's the opposite, right? Like a lot of academics are not that effective in the real world.
Yeah.
And there's also a correlation, hardcore academics. There's also a correlation with people who are successful in school are just they're just hard workers. They just want to be successful at whatever they do, so they go on to be successful. It's not because of school. It's not because of what they learned at school. It's because they wherever you put them, they're going to apply themselves to the best of their ability, right? And so you put them in an organization, a large corporation, then they're going to like rise to the top because whatever, that's what they do. But it wasn't school that helped them get there or whatever. And I would also say that even like a CEO is not truly free. Like well, this can go both many ways, but basically people think of it like, oh, the CEO is like the highest level. The CEO is an employee.
Yeah.
That's not CEO. The CEO is not the owner of the company. He's a manager. He manages a business for the owner. The owner is on vacation with his wife, or he's working on another business. They're working on another business, building something else because they're builders. They're eternal children. They're what do children do? Like what do boys do? They play with Legos, right? They play with Legos, they play with building. I mean, I don't know what kids do these days. They're probably playing video games and shit. But like, but
They're all saying six
when I was
seven,
a
six
kid, we played.
seven. It's nonstop. I went to a Pistons game last night, and the score was 67, and the whole arena erupted. 6-7, 6-7. It was
What's 6
crazy.
7?
It means like it's like in between. That's what 6-7 means. That's what I found out.
So in between, what's the context? I mean, in between what?
So it's
What?
like in between like two options, or it's like oh, do I want to do this or do that? 6-7, 6-7.
Got it. Yeah. So I guess there's got to be some sort of like context or like whatever that I'm missing from that. But yeah, I mean, they're eternal children. Like kids. Kids have kids come out. That's how humans are. That's their natural state.
Yeah.
And then and then and the true child, in my view, the child, the eternal adult, or the adult who's an eternal child, I guess, or doing it the right way, is, in my view, an entrepreneur. It's building,
Yeah.
creating, right? And I'm an entrepreneur. Like I think in terms of entrepreneurship, whatever. But like, I guess there's other forms, but like even it's just about creation. It's just about creating. That's it. It's just about creating,
I'm an entrepreneur. I
building.
feel like, if you're creating and going towards a path of creation, like this podcast, for example, like I created this, and it's, and like I want to circle back at what we just said. I had friends back in the day that went to school. They were book smart, but they did not have any street smarts. It's totally different, to make it in this world. Two different things. But some people can have both a little bit, but you gotta have balance. That's the key in this world, to have balance. I I
I,
want to dive into, how does cryptocurrency get involved in the AI future?
Dude, I don't know why, man. I've just never been into crypto. I've just never been into it. I'm not saying like I'm not exactly sure why. I my brain like just blocks stuff out that it doesn't think is important. And I don't know. I'm not trying to talk shit against crypto because I don't know enough to talk shit about crypto. I have done. It's not like I've done zero research on this. And I have a very close friend who's like obsessed with Bitcoin. It's going to change the world. I just don't think that's true. I don't think it's. I don't think that's true. I don't think that they understand all these revolutionaries. I used to be a revolutionary, thinking like I was going to change the world. You know what I mean? And the world's a pretty hard thing to change, and you're not like you're you, you're most of the people who changed the world caught a wave. They caught a wave that was coming regardless. And they just had a you know, an impact on that wave or whatever. Like they caught that wave, they rode that wave. But like there's these frequencies, there's these rhythms that you know, just like evolution, like, you know, and sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, whatever. But like there's I just think that Bitcoin, you know, like the big thing is Bitcoins, cryptos. I get it, digital money. That's, you know, obviously, duh, like that makes the most sense. The blockchain, okay, I get it. You know, I see the power in it for sure. I mean, why are we still using paper anything? You know, dumb. I mean, the whole financial system is rigged. I mean, it's the whole thing is rigged, right? I mean, like you're paying, you know, if you got a credit card, you know, let's say you're paying, you know, the average credit card interest rate's 30%. It's just, you know, absolutely, that's fraud. I mean, it's like, it's highway robbery. It's like, you know, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, the system is intentionally held back from evolution because that's how they make their money. They
On
don't want
every
it to evolve.
transaction, tell you that much. All these banks, every transaction. I had to send money overseas to Africa, and they took $50 from me because I was trying to send $200 to someone over there, and using Swift, they took $50 to use their. It should be everyone should have
Yeah, no,
Wi-Fi
it's
in this whole
insane.
world. It should be instantaneous. All this
No,
money
it's
that we
insane.
have.
It's absolutely insane. But dude, I used Bitcoin the other day and it took me 24 hours for it to register because it was like an extra like $50 if I wanted it to be instant. I'm like, what? You know, so like even the companies that came in and were going like the Bitcoin revolutionaries, now they're charging the same shit.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, and I'm not, you know, I'm not a Bitcoin, like I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm sure there's lots of, there's better ways to do this and better ways to do that. You know, I'm totally ignorant in the grand scheme of things, um, but like, this is what I'm trying to share. This is what I'm trying to say. Like the revolutionaries, the Bitcoin revolutionaries, what they don't understand is that smart schemers always find a way. All right. The smarter people are always going to trick or fool or outthink the dumber people. Right. And this isn't even like, I'm not saying like, you know, it's not a rich or poor thing. It's like, it's just the way that the wolves are always going to eat the sheep. That's it. Right. And that's at any level, you know, or in any situation, not just a government situation, in a group setting, like whatever it is. And so, um, you know, just because Bitcoin is, you know, it's a digital currency, and just because it has the character, has the traits it has, doesn't mean there won't be corruption. Doesn't mean that it's gonna like stop these people from being corrupt or from getting their way. Because if you think you have rights, did you have rights during the pandemic? What happened to your rights? Because you know, the fourth, I mean, like you couldn't assemble. Why couldn't you assemble? Oh, because it's a killer virus. It's a killer virus. So suddenly you no longer have constitutional rights.
You have restrictions on time. You have to be out by, you know, this time, and it's like it was crazy times. I
You
really
could,
do think that
bro,
was
you
the
could go to
craziest,
Target.
one of the craziest times of my life. And I was like, it's like I'm living in this like crazy like Twilight Zone type reality. It
You,
was mind blowing that I was living through this, and most people were like just living at home like it was nothing.
yeah, sheep.
Yeah, we're
Look, I mean,
surrounded by them.
and I'm, you know, look, it took me decades before I stopped being a sheep, and I was still a sheep in many ways for another 10 years. Still didn't understand a lot of things. I'm sure there's a ton of things. There's still a ton of things right now I don't know about, like how things work at some other level. I don't, you know, there's levels to this shit, and it feels like there's never ending levels. But yeah, I mean, the pandemic is just the most obvious example that you do not have rights, you have privileges, and whenever they feel like taking those privileges away, they will, right? And there's levels to power, but you know, I mean, yeah, whenever you have it's just a story. You know, it's just a story. Like, right, like, you know, you have constitutional rights, and you know, don't get me wrong, there's other places in the world that are much worse, right, than America, and the rule of law in America does it sticks a lot better than in some other countries. You know what I mean? Like in other countries, I've traveled the world. Like you can pay cops off on the road. You know what I mean? But at that same time, if you were in some shit, you couldn't just call up your lawyer necessarily. Like they might tell your lawyer to go fuck yourself. Like he's going to stay in jail for whatever. So like in America, there are rules, but the higher you go, those rules stop mattering. You know what I mean? Like if you're an issue for the government, like a legitimate issue, they'll figure out a way to get their way. Like, or to take care of you or whatever it is. And so, I mean, I just think the pandemic is just the perfect example, right? It's just like, you could go into Target, you can go into Walmart, you can go into all these big box stores, walk right past people, but you couldn't sit down in a restaurant, in a small business restaurant and have a meal. You couldn't, certain places, like New York and stuff, you couldn't go to a bar and have a drink, right? None of it made sense. Absolutely none of it made sense. And it doesn't even matter if it doesn't make sense. It is your choice. Like based on the Constitution, like you can assemble. And if you're going to tell me I have to sit in my home, you're going to ground me as an adult and tell me I can't go out and get fresh air, and you're doing it for my benefit. And like 60, 70, 80% of the population believed that story.
And they stayed at home because they got paid as well through the government.
And no one, and like very few people batted an eye. Like in terms of, like a lot of people did, but I mean, in terms of the overall numbers, like in my view, very people did. Most people rolled over. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't want to get the shot. I didn't want to have some foreign object injected into me, some foreign, I don't know what's in that shit that was just tested last week by some company I don't even trust. But, I don't want it to be injected in me, but, I wanted to go to Cancun. I wanted to travel. And so, I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just rolled over.
And I think they're going to do it again eventually in the next couple of years with AI and the robots coming in and the basic income that people are going to be getting. Prepare now. I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate you being on the podcast. I could dive into this all night.
I'm having a great conversation, dude. Yeah, it's a great
I
conversation.
love this, and I can go in so many different directions because, like I said, I love looking to the future, and it's so mind blowing what the future is going to be looking like for the common person, and people don't even see it. When I see you interviewing people, I can see that you have the answers but you're trying to, you're interviewing them. So you're trying to assist them in a way of like, like, how do you see AI? What's the future hold? Do you see your job going to be here in the next couple of years? And, they're all like, I use it once in a while, or, I could see it being, something maybe, it's like, it's already here, when I went to Chicago, for example, every taxi driver was driving a Tesla. Okay. It's not going to be too much longer before they get the taxi driver out of there because it already has all the data all around Chicago to self-drive itself. And then it's going to pay itself in crypto eventually because it's going to be instantaneous.
Where are you located?
Michigan.
Oh, cool, man. I love the Midwest, dude. It's great people. Yeah. So as you know, I'm in Miami. They're implementing robotaxi in Miami. It's one of like I think they started in Austin, Texas. That was the first spot, and now the second spot's going to be Miami, from what I understand. So I'm psyched. I'm stoked. This is great. It's fantastic. And
you can buy a Tesla, dude. And you can actually eventually, I know they're going to do this. You can buy the software to actually, you go to work and then you let your car go out and drive as a taxi for other people and then
Hmm.
come back and make you money.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty cool. Right. Yeah. And like it could turn it, I mean, so once little business lesson, right? Once you, the people call their home a home an asset, right? People think that their home is an asset. A home is not an asset; it's a liability. Okay, and it's anything that it, it's either if it's putting money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it's taking money out of your pocket, it's a liability. Okay, and a home is more or less like there's arbitrage. Don't get me wrong. If you bought a home uh, at fair value in 2019 and then the pandemic hit and it raised all the prices 30, 40% or whatever, 100% in many cases, then yeah, you can make, a fast buck. But basically, every year your money in your bank account is becoming less valuable every single year. Okay. And wealthy people know that. That's why they put their money into ETFs and stuff. It's not even just to make money, it's to preserve the value of that money because inflation's occurring every year. 2%, 5%, whatever it is. In the case of pandemic, it was like 30%. Right. So a home is like you got to pay rent. You're paying tons and tons and tons of interest on it. It's ridiculous. It's insane. If you get a typical mortgage, but then you've also got, you got to mow the lawn. I mean, you're going to pay for that. And then you got all these expenses. You got to fix the roof. You got to fix this. You got to fix that. People never add that shit in. So anyways, that, would be a liability. But, and typically a car would be a liability because, you're basically, it just deteriorates. You're just putting money into it constantly. You're paying for the car payment, the insurance, the registration, the gas, the maintenance, all this other stuff. You're just dumping money into this thing all the time. But you don't really have that problem with a Tesla. With a Tesla, it's like the brakes go bad and the tires go bad. And that's like more or less it. And because there's not that many moving parts in the car. There's not that many parts to the car. And I mean, maybe the battery goes bad for like 10 years or something like that. You might be able to get that replaced. I'm not sure how that works, but, um, but, the once it starts going out and making you money, it's just automated. It just goes and, it drops you off at work. All right, later, bro, I'm going to go make you some money. And it goes out in the world and Ubers for you and it brings home like whatever it basically pays for itself plus a bunch plus like 10,000 or 20,000. I don't know. I forget exactly what it'll produce over its lifetime. I think it's like 200,000 or something like that. Now it becomes an income producing asset. And once something is an income producing asset, then you value it completely differently. The value of that thing is based on the money it produces. Right. So it's not how much it costs you. It's how much it's how much money it produces minus how much it costs you. That's your cash flow. And then you multiply that by, usually a multiple, what is that? Whether that's, the total amount every 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, whatever it is, depends on the type of business it is. But yeah, it's a business now. That car is a business. It's creating money for you, cash flow. And so now it'll be, I think Tesla's my point. My point of mentioning that was like, I think Teslas could skyrocket in value. And they could be like once people figure out like people I've already known about this for like 5 or 6 years or something like that, but like once people start like they're talking to their buddy who's got a Tesla and like what your car makes you money, and it's like yeah I just like click a button and it just goes in Ubers and makes me money, and it doesn't actually even cost me any money to own this Tesla. It actually makes me money. Bro, I mean, people are going to that's going to spread like wildfire. People are going to start buying Teslas like left and right. You won't be able to buy one. And then, and they're going to be like, if there were 60,000, now they're 100,000, 150,000 or whatever, it's going to go up in value.
And what do you think the stock price of Tesla is going to be at that point?
I don't know if I got to this earlier, but like you were trying to, we kind of trailed off into some other bullshit, but like you were saying, what should people do to prepare or something? I mean, I think the only insurance I did mention a little bit, but I think the only legitimate insurance you can have in the world that we're going into, where it's like very uncertain, extreme uncertainty. Like the smartest people in the world can only like they can only really future tell like 5 years, and even that's inaccurate. Um, uh, you know, I would say invest in Tesla. That's my answer. Invest in Tesla. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Can you make more money in a shorter period of time doing something else? Yes. But overall, like if you want like, if you're not going to go out and build an AI business, and even that's not guaranteed because things are moving so fast. Like even that business I mentioned in the beginning about the AI assistant business, plugging those into businesses like service-based businesses. Once people figure out, that's only because there's arbitrage, because no one understands AI right now. Once things get better, and once people realize that it's not that hard to implement that software, that stuff, they're gonna stop paying me, and they're gonna go pay the $10 a month to have it be done by this other organization that's doing it in mass scale for everyone. Like the Amazon of these AI assistants or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and so then I'll be out of business. Like all that business that I built and went out and built, like that'll just be gone, and it'll just evaporate overnight or over a period of time. And so there is no certainty. The only thing I can be certain of is that Tesla is going to be the most valuable company by far over the next 5-10 years. Like, I mean, if money even matters, like I'm telling you, like if you've got 10 billion robots, and you got AI, you got super genius AI that solves everything. You don't need to call a lawyer. You don't need to call anyone for anything, because your bot is a super genius, can do anything and build you anything and do and you've got a 3D printer over here that can literally like, you're like, oh, that's so cool. And you just like think about it. And then the thing just appears right here, over here. Like the options, or all the things it's going to be endless. Like what the possibilities are endless. So money's going to lose its value, I think. I don't know. That's almost certainty. But it's just how long. Right. And so what we need to do is we need to get through this bumpy transitional period where we go from everyone's working to no one's working. There's going to be potentially a bumpy period. Right. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I do believe that the powers that be have a plan in terms of when they're going to start implementing universal basic income. Obviously, they're not telling people that because they don't want this to be a conversation. They don't even want people to think about AI right now. They want people to just go to work. Just keep going to work. You know what I mean? If I told you that in 2 years, you're going to get $5,000 a month for the rest of your life or whatever, then how would that change how you operate? Especially like the average person who maybe doesn't have an entrepreneurial spirit, or, hates their job, but just shows up because they have to pay their bills, or like, would love to do nothing. Like would love to like not, whatever. Like it's going to, even people who do have entrepreneurial plans, it would impact that. It would impact people's choices that they make today. And that would create instability in the economy. But I think ultimately the best financial insurance, without question, is Tesla. Like, yeah, you can go to NVIDIA. If you're heavier into investing, like I said, there's other options potentially. But I think that if you had to put your money somewhere where there was absolute uncertainty, I would put it where, like, the person who understands AI, who's the most advanced in AI in the world, Elon Musk, Tesla, the smartest man in the world, Elon, he owns Tesla. um, and I think what he's going to do is create a mega corporation. I think he's going to combine Tesla with SpaceX, with the Boring Company, with all his companies, Neuralink. I think it's all going to become one fucking conglomerate, one big business, whatever. Like, what are those future movies? They always have these crazy business names. But yeah, I think Tesla's going to be like the biggest company in the world. It's going to be like Elon Musk is going to have an army of bots.
Yep.
Like I think he might become the most powerful man to ever live, and the last most powerful man to ever live, potentially. I mean, I think that he's like, that's like a high probability. And by the time, anyone figures it out, he'll already be there. And I think, that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing. If you've ever followed, like, if you wanted, if you were forced to be in a situation where one man was more powerful than any other man on the planet, I would want it to be Elon Musk. That's what I would say. There's no guarantees in life, but I think, because there's a lot of people who have they have different opinions on Elon Musk, and I think it's insane. I think he's the Einstein of our time, and I think he's got a heart of gold. I mean, if you think this guy does things for money, you're just wrong. I mean, he doesn't care about money at all. Obviously, it's necessary to run businesses and do things, but the money is not for the money; it's for the business. It's not even for the business; it's for the world. He's trying to advance the world. I know this is so hard for people to believe when they show up to work for money, like purely for money, and so they can pay their bills and stuff. But this guy is literally doing all this stuff because he thinks it's cool. Like he wants to explore the universe, and he wants to save humanity. Like, an asteroid could kill us tomorrow, could come through the clouds or whatever, come from space, and just like, and this would all be over, like, just like that, just like the dinosaurs. And he wants to create a multi-planetary civilization so that if something like that happens, we got a backup plan. Like, humanity, like consciousness, has a backup plan. It's next level shit. It's like next level shit. So yeah.
He will be
That's
the
what I think.
world's first trillionaire, Elon Musk. And he won't even
Yeah.
care about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the Rothschilds, and, like, in terms of families, I think there's way wealthier people. And then, like, if you actually do the value, like, inflation adjusted value and stuff like that, like, I think John D. Rockefeller was pretty fucking wealthy, like, insanely wealthy. Different dollar amounts, but in terms of the value of what that, think about it, like, back in that time, a nickel bought a Coke. You know what I mean? I think even a penny, I think maybe a penny bought a Coke or something like that. So now, think about it now, today, it's $3. So that's 300x, right? So if he was a billionaire back then, whatever, I guess he had 300 billion. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly how it maths out, but yeah, he's building a robot. He's got the most advanced AI and robotics in the world. He's the smartest man in the world. In my view, he's the smartest, most capable man in the world. And clearly he's the most successful. I mean, he's worth over $700 billion now. And like you said, he'll be the first trillionaire. And, and Steve Jobs used to be my hero, or like my, I thought he was super smart, and I love Steve Jobs. People feel differently or whatever, because he's quote unquote an asshole or whatever. But you don't change the world by being sweet, and by just, like, like, you gotta be on top of people for shit. Like, you to get, like, not everyone agrees with it, whatever, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Elon's no different. Maybe on camera he's super nice or whatever, but in the background, he's people fear him, like, in terms of, making sure that they're doing their job to the best of their ability. Otherwise, they know they're going bye real fast, and it's just the way it's got to be.
And when you own a percentage of a stock, you own a percentage of that company.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so that'd be very smart for someone to look into a company, what their future is going to project into.
Yeah, I mean, look. So if you just want a basic understanding of how this works, right? So, I mean, you don't need to be a stock genius or anything. You should know. I always say you should definitely know what you're investing in, but you don't know what you're investing in. Like, if you're investing in a 401k, you don't know what the fuck you're investing in. Someone else is making a decision for you. So you feel safe, Oh, the guys that know about that stuff they don't know shit about this stuff. No, very few people on this planet know anything. I mean, like the best hedge funds can't beat the S&P. Like if all you did was take your money and put it into an index fund like the S&P that just tracks like the best companies in the world or the top companies in the world, it's like an average, then uh, like hedge funds that have billions of dollars of people's money, they try to go out and like beat the market or whatever, and they can't do it over a 10-year period. They can't do it. Like 97% of them can't do it. And so it's like a handful of these guys in the world that can do it. But if you understand, but actually, if you do it long term, if you're not trying to get rich overnight, and you do it long term, investing, in my view, isn't actually that difficult as long as you're willing to wait like 10, 20 years, 30 years, or whatever. It's actually not that challenging. If you're trying to be rich overnight by investing in something, then you got way more risk. But basically, what you need to understand about the stock market is very simple, right? Like you don't need to learn about stocks. That's not what you want to learn about. What you want to learn about are businesses. Okay. And there's a lot there. That's a loaded situation. I mean, to understand business, but basically to understand business, you need to understand how the world works in many ways. And you need to understand that industry more importantly, right? Because that business is inside of an industry. And so, whether that business grows or not, and let me back up. You make money on a stock when a business produces more cash flow in the future, not less. Okay. If like on a day-to-day business, on a day-to-day basis, there'll be volatility. Like the price could skyrocket. It could do this, it could do that, it could do all sorts of things. You have no idea what the stock is going to do on a day-to-day basis. But on a long enough time horizon or time, a period of time, the value of the stock will track will be relative to the cash flow the company produces. That's it. End of story. It's not about the revenue. It's about the profit. How much money is coming back to people, right? How much money is that company making? and and so the if we know that Tesla is going to build all these bots, they're going to build 10 billion robots, 20 billion robots or whatever, right? We know that they're the most advanced by a long shot in artificial intelligence and robotics. And we know that the company is run by the smartest, most capable person in the world who has done the impossible over and over and over again in business. Who do you want to trust your money with? Like who else do you trust is going to be a bigger company, be making more money in the future than Elon Musk and Tesla? For me, there is no other man or company that I trust or I think is gonna grow more. Okay. Now, with that being said, there are investments where you can make more money. Okay, you can actually have a higher return because it's not about it's just about the percentage of growth. So if you actually start with a smaller company that grows into a Tesla-sized company, you're more likely to make way more money. There's a way like Tesla's not going to 1,000%. You know what I mean? Growth. There's not going to be 1,000. It's already $1 trillion company. Like it's not going to be a quadrillion or whatever the next number. It's not going to be. It's not. But there's a lot more. If you want to know for sure that your money's going to grow, for sure, and it's going to grow significantly, like I would say 20 to 40x within the next 10 years, 10, 20, like I don't even want to say 20 years. I want to say within, I think it'll be 10x within 5 years, like no less than 10x within 5 years. And then from there, it could just skyrocket. I mean, we can get into how that works, but basically, they're going to start printing money, right? So the stock market went up during the pandemic, right? The stock market went up during the pandemic. And why did it go up? Because the government was printing money. And so when you print money, it inflates prices. There's inflation. And that's good for businesses. It's good for assets. It's good for business owners. It's horrible for the poor. It's horrible for people who don't own shit, who don't own businesses, right? It was good for your loan. It was good for your home loan. If you had a house loan, right, your mortgage, it was great for your mortgage. Like if you owned a house and you owed $100,000 on that house, and then now there was all this inflation. That $100,000 now is actually really valued like $75,000. It's like the real world value is really only like $75,000. Anyways, we can go through all that. We can get into all that stuff, but yeah.
Now, where do you see Elon Musk going with X?
With X,
Because you
I don't know
traveled
yet.
the world, you've seen WeChat. I've heard him wanting to be like the next WeChat for X.
Yeah. I don't know what his plans are with X. He's got, he's all over the place, right? He's got so many things going on. It's ridiculous, right? You got Neuralink, Boring Company. He owns X. But I mean, right now, money, is stupid, right? I mean, the way money flows and stuff is stupid. It's retarded, right? And it shouldn't be this difficult to transfer money to people or whatever. I mean, now we've got some services, but like the fact that I would ever have to go to a physical building again for financial purposes is retarded. Like based on the technology we have today, that is not necessary. But I do. I still do. I don't have to do it often, but like I may still need to do that, right? And from time to time, I guess. But like, and then like all the little fees and stuff to transfer money and stuff. It's obnoxious. It's obnoxious, right? It's insane that a company takes a business every time you process a credit card at a business, whether that's a bag of Doritos or whatever it is, that processor is taking like 1.5% to 3% of that money. What? To process cash, 1.5% to 3%? That's like a legitimate tax. Like that's not even that's a massive expense on all the money I make all year just because they can swipe a card. Like that's insane. That's insane. So I think there needs to be solutions for this stuff. And I told you I don't know that much about. I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin like I'm an expert on it because I'm not. There's a lot of holes in my understanding of how it all works. But, or I should say, like, what the latest stuff is that's going on in the industry and all that stuff. I don't know any of that stuff.
But if there's a way to make instant settlement payments using
but
crypto.
They're doing the same shit with Bitcoin is what I'm saying. They're doing the same exact shit. I just happened the other day. I bought some stuff from a company and they're like, if you use Bitcoin, it's 10% off. So I was like, all right, cool. You know what? I'll do this Bitcoin thing. And they're like, all right, go to Cash App, buy the equivalent in Bitcoin, whatever. And I did all that. And then when I went to pay it out, Cash App charged me fucking like, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4% or something like that. I forget what it was, but it's like, I mean, I guess I didn't, because I'm using Cash App, is that, it's because it's still connected to the old system.
It doesn't matter what you use because I used Stripe the other day and I worked hard to get $200. Okay. And they took $7 out of 200.
Yeah.
I worked hard to get that $200. And it's just insane in my, and sometimes you go to a bank, it takes 3 to 5 days to make a transaction. Are you kidding me? It should be instant like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, potentially, I mean, I guess I
I
guess
think
what
Elon Musk is going to solve it one day because his first company he was part of was X.com, and he was trying to create some type of. I mean, you know a little bit more about it than I do, like some
yeah,
type
I
of
mean, so
currency,
yeah,
right?
no, I mean, what he's doing with X, supposedly what he's doing right now is what he was trying to do with PayPal, but his partners in PayPal didn't want to take that route, and so they kicked him out. And yeah, that's basically what happened. They got into a war, like an owner partner war or whatever, and and there was a coup against Elon because basically Elon is Elon, and he's thinking 100x bigger than everyone else, and they were still thinking small, and that's not the route they wanted to go. And they're trying to protect their cash, their capital, their time, their effort. Some of these guys don't want to save the world; they just want to make money, or they just want to like whatever their goal, whatever their goals are. It didn't match Elon's. And Elon only cares about changing the world and doing shit that's actually beneficial to people. Um, and and so anything super big. So that's just it's if you're thinking like that, uh, you scare everyone else. They either think you're fucking nuts, or they don't get it. They don't even understand what the fuck you're talking about or what you're trying to do, or they think it's impossible, or they think it's too difficult, or whatever it is. There's just massive resistance, massive resistance.
I want to ask you this because my brother is fascinated in the dead internet theory. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, he said you probably would know. And it's
Well,
basically
I feel like I've heard of this before, but I don't think I've done a deep dive into it.
he's saying that AI generated content's going to be all over everything we see.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, and what?
In like all our algorithms is just going to be AI driven. And I was like, it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
already is. He's like, no, everything. It's already a dead internet theory, but it's already everything we see is going to be AI, and you do not even know the difference between what's real and what's fake.
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's the wild, wild west of in this situation, right? And so, like, there'll probably be maybe some regulations or things that occur. Um,
Every one of my commercials now, I can tell it's an AI generated
oh
ad.
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, every
Well,
single one of them.
what did we talk about earlier, right? The path of least resistance, right? What's the path? I mean, it would be way easier, like exponentially easier, if I could create fake interviews, fake AI interviews. And I literally just had this AI just randomize, you know, random person saying random things, me asking the best fucking possible questions, and and it's just being the most engaging shit ever, right? Like everything's on point, right? And even the flawed weird stuff that happens in real life situations would happen too. And just like how they're programming AI voices with like ums and ahs and stuff, like, so it's human, it feels real, right? Yeah, you won't be able to tell. You won't be able to tell after a certain point. Like, you will not be able to tell.
Build a personal
But
brand immediately.
oh yeah, no, I mean, I think, like, if you wanted to make a ton of money right now, right, you could create one of those fake chicks, like super hot fake chick. But instead of doing like what a lot of these guys are doing, where they're like, they just have the girl in like different poses or whatever, so it's like, or walking around, create one with like a dope personality, like a super cool personality, who's like really sweet and nice and awesome and fun, and it would blow up. It would blow up, and you'd make so much money. I mean, there's so many dudes out there who are like insanely like lonely or whatever, who get a lot of satisfaction from just that alone, because there's like no hope for them in the real world. At least they feel that way. And so there's a lot of guys who like that stuff or whatever. And I'm not judging. I don't care either way. But I mean, we go into that. Yeah. So I mean, to stay on topic, because we can go
I
down
told you
that road.
before though, like that's how I started making content was,
Yeah.
making AI generated kind of
Slop.
slop. And,
I
I would
don't
be
think it's gonna
doing
be
what you
slop
just
though,
said because I'll be
but it's not
making
gonna be
so much.
slop anymore.
No, but I mean, just if I kept with it over time and just had all these different pages and, have like a country channel, have a girl channel, have a guy that's fixing a car, and then, just like a whole bunch of other stuff, and just, it's just building your, fans, your page. I mean, you saw the gorilla, and you've seen the there's the Bigfoot videos. I mean, all of those were just like those came out of nowhere, and everyone started watching them. And it's always the next AI generated video everyone's gonna watch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having I'm having like a couple of those moments every day where I'm like, "Oh shit. This is AI. This is AI, right?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, honestly I don't I don't have a good read on it. I don't know what's I haven't really thought too much about it cuz it's not really like something I really care about. I don't think I don't think like a lot of people have mentioned that in interviews. Like that's a big concern for a lot of people. I'm like, my concern is that AI is going to kill us all. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, you're worried that like our content could be fake. I mean, women right today, every woman's like a catfish. I mean, it's like not only are they in the real world are they using makeup, which okay, fine, cool, whatever. I mean, at least like physically, like you know, you have makeup over your face so you look better or whatever in real life, but like you're doing it digitally now. Like now you're doing it digitally. Literally every single girl, even like the hot ones, like legitimately hot girls, are like using filters over their face, and it's really, like really, and 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 I'm just like, it's actually a turn off for me when girls do that because it's like, oh, you're like beautiful and you're like still that insecure. Um,
It's
but
getting worse and
yeah, I
worse. I'll
mean,
tell you that much. All I see is
people
on
that
there
path
just
of least resistance,
filters.
bro.
Yeah.
Path of least resistance, right? That the 99% of humans are going to take the path of least resistance every fucking time. And so, um, uh, that's why I don't even think we have to worry about the physical world. I think we're all going to go into a virtual reality. Like, it's kind of, I mean, that is the path of least resistance, like, bar none. Like, you could be Superman. Like, once there's brain chips, you can be Superman. Like, legitimately, you can legitimately wake up, feed yourself, and then go into your world and be the dopest dude on the planet.
You ever seen the
Like,
movie Ready Player One?
yeah, yeah, sick, sick. I could totally see that shit happening. I don't see it being dystopian. I don't believe it. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I mean, there's been a natural progression. Okay, the if you look at the world, things have evolved. They have not devolved. They have evolved. Okay, and there's like micro things like in society things can devolve and stuff like that, whatever. But like how like healthcare, like just health, just looking at health alone, right? I mean, let's start at caveman and let's start here. Like, would you like if would you if I was a caveman, I would die sooner. Like with the condition I have, I would 100% die sooner. Like without question, because I have an irregular heartbeat. You spend enough years with an irregular heartbeat and like it's bouncing all over the fucking place, not working right. It's gonna wear out your heart faster and you're gonna die sooner. Like that's just the mechanics of things. That's just the physics of stuff, right? And so it's a legitimate concern for me now. But you know, as a caveman, or if I had a toothache or whatever, like think of all the different things that could go wrong health wise. And back like now, it's like it's not even a big deal. It's not even like forget about caveman. Let's say talk like 100 years ago. Like I think I'm almost positive that like 100 years ago, or like 150 years ago, the like 1850 or something like that, like the amount of women that died from birth was like high. It's like very high, and the number of um, uh, miscarriages were also very high. Like having a child wasn't just like this simple like procedure. You just you just go to the hospital, no big deal. Like it was like, eh, yeah, like it was like it was a big deal. And like now um, with
Modern
modern
medicine.
medicine and yeah, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. It's not a, you know, not
I'm actually
nothing.
a prime
But
example of that. I was low on blood when I was born. If it wasn't for modern medicine, I wouldn't be here.
you know, so you know, not to go down like a thousand different rabbit holes about this, but like yeah, like the world has improved. Like the big problem is that people have access to way more information than they did 20, 30 years ago. And so they think the world's getting worse because they're just more conscious of all the shit that's going on in the world. And and there's just information overload. So they think the world's getting worse because they're only seeing, like, you're only going to hear about the most shocking, outrageous shit. And so the average human brain isn't ready for that shit, isn't ready for like, it doesn't know, the average human doesn't know how to like block that shit out or like see it from a certain perspective. And I mean, even me, like I I get caught up, even though I know all this stuff. If I'm constantly consuming news or politics, I get super like into it. I get super like, I'll get pissed off, even just like this whole Venezuelan shit. You know what I mean? Or like, no, today, like with the Minnesota stuff, right? The woman was shot by ICE, right? And I looked through it. I haven't watched all the videos, but I plugged it into Grok, because Grok is the most truth telling, truth seeking. That's how Elon designed it. And um, it said, based on the laws and based on the footage, uh, he the cop should not shot her, because just because, like, if a person's driving and they're trying to like, if as a cop, if you have the ability to get out of the way, then you should get out of the way. Like, you don't just automatically have the right to just pop someone in the face with a gun 3 times because they're trying to flee. Like, like, you can't just automatically assume, oh, they're trying to kill me. Like, it was reasonable that you could have gotten out of the way, or like that she wasn't trying to run you over. She was trying to flee. And so, um, anyways, I mean, even look at me now, like I'm getting heated about her. I'm getting emotional about her, or whatever. I'm like, and I just, I literally go to my algorithm. I'm like, X, 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 like, no, stop showing me this shit. Right. And so I can control my mind. I don't want to see any of this. I only want to see 2 things: personal development and AI. That's it. That's all I want to see. And I'll literally block out everything. Because, here and there you start like, if you watch something about politics for an extra minute, now it's like, oh, he loves politics. And then now you're going to start seeing all this shit in your feed. So got to manage that shit. Got to manage your mind.
Yeah, I can see the future people trying to be God, trying to pick the gender of their child. There's going to be things like that in the future, maybe even cloning. I think, was it Tom Brady that cloned his dog already?
Bro, I mean, the future's anything that you think is weird, like anything you could possibly think about right now that's weird, like multiply that by 100.
Yeah.
No one is ready for what's coming. And yeah, I'm not fully ready. I mean, I'm mentally ready. I think it's dope. I think it's cool. Bring it on. Like, like, I don't really care. Let's go for the ride. Yay. Like, I'm a super sci-fi kind of guy. I like sci-fi movies, and like, yeah, I'd like to have a robotic arm. I don't care about this arm at all. I don't care about this arm whatsoever. Like, if I could have a dope, like, crazy arm that could lift a car and flip a car, that'd be dope. That'd be sick. If I could have a heart that doesn't have issues, that'd be dope. If I could plug into the Matrix or whatever, I could plug into AI and be like, have super intelligence, that'd be dope. I don't know. I think that's cool. Um, yeah,
Now, would
that's
you, if it's possible, plug your soul into a robot and leave your body behind?
yeah. I mean, look, if I'm just gonna be honest, like, I'm not much of a, I think, take it or leave it. I personally don't believe in souls. I don't believe in souls. Like, I don't think I have a soul. I guess that, maybe that's kind of like, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't know. I don't, but I don't know. But I don't I don't think we're special. I think we're organic material organized in a very intricate biological way. I think we're a biological machine. That's what I think. And I don't think we're special. I think we're smart. I think we're special in the sense that we're the smartest organism on the planet. I don't even think we're the smartest. I think we're top tier smart, but also capable. Like these bad boys are like really, really handy. They're really amazing. Like whales, from what I understand, and like even like dolphins are like super smart from what I understand, and they communicate from over like hundreds of meters away or miles away. And when I was living in Key West and I was working in this boat, we used to do tours, and you'd see like how the what do you call it, the dolphins operate. And so they'll have like the kids and the mom and like the whole crew in the middle, and then they'll have like these two other dudes that circle around them as they swim, and they're like kind of like guarders. They like guard the like perimeter. They're like, dude, they're super like, and they're super smart. Like they're super fucking smart, dude. And they'll ride with us and stuff, and like well, they're like responsive. They're like super responsive, but they got fins. They got fucking fins, and they make squeaky sounds, and they talk telepathically to each other, so they don't need to fucking talk. Like, you know what I mean? So like they're speaking in some sort of super complex language, and we're like, oh, the stupid little dolphins. But in reality, they're like way smarter than us potentially, you know. But they can't read a book. They can't read a book. They don't have no TV, right? So all these things impact. I mean, how smart is the average person? Like honestly, like, not really that smart. You know what I mean? Maybe Elon is, but he's like once in like fucking 5 generations, 10 generations, dude. Like, I don't know. And out of billions of people. So, you know, go, going into the whole soul thing. Um, I just think that we're a very complex biological machine. And I don't think that takes any value away from us or something like that. I think that, and everyone's welcome to their opinion on the subject, but um, I I've never really understood the whole soul thing. Like, if you if like there what gives us any evidence of a soul? Like, because we function? I mean, if 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 I if my hand got cut off in a sawmill, I'd still be alive, right? Because my hand isn't like, it's important to like do shit and stuff, but I mean, it's not a vital organ. But if I get shot in the heart or shot in the head, I stop working because those are vital organs. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just that simple for me, right? Like, I, I, I think we're a biological machine, and there's certain parts in us that are more important than other parts, and make sure that the really important parts are working, and you'll keep working. And if those parts aren't working, then you'll stop working, and that's it. That's what I think.
What do you think a lifespan of a human will be in the future?
I think we're gonna live forever. I think within this, I think as long as you don't get hit by a bus in the next 10 years, you'll live forever. That's what I think.
Now, what gives you hope when you think about AI and like robots that we don't mess it up?
It's out of my hands. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's out of my hands. And I accepted my death a long time ago. So, like, I'm not going out of my way to kill myself or like hurt myself or anything like that. And obviously, I want to be strategic and smart. And I'm going to purchase a gun soon, which I've never done in my life. Um, just in case, something really like shit really hits the fan. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But in case it does, will I want a backup plan? Fuck yeah. But with that being said, the smartest guys, the people I respect, the smartest guys in AI who I respect the most, and I think are just super smart and super on point with how they see the world and how they see things turning out. Um, they say it's a 20% probability that AI could kill us all. Like the probability that most of these guys have come to, like the average is like 10 to 20% probability. How accurate that is, who knows? Who fucking knows? But I'm not completely like just like guessing about this. My view is that we're apes. I think we're apes. I think we're really, really stupid apes in my view. I think that about myself. Like I do a lot. Like there's things that I try to like improve about myself every day, that I see the patterns, I know the patterns, and I still do the same dumb shit over and over again. Like just really stupid shit. And AI is not going to have that problem. You know what I mean? But more importantly, I don't have all the knowledge of every single book ever written, and literally all the information that's ever existed on planet Earth in my brain, perfectly recorded, accurate as fuck, no distortion whatsoever, digital, like perfect. And and AI will. And I believe that super intelligent people are less dangerous than super ignorant people. I think super ignorant people are more dangerous than super intelligent people. Now, there's examples of that not being true, but I think as an average, like generally speaking, I think when you don't understand how the world works, and you don't understand, and you have a false perception of reality, that's not good. And the wiser you are, the smarter you are, the more accurate perception you have of reality, then the better decisions that you can make. And you also, how do I put this? So there's multiple levels here. So number one, we don't just go around killing animals just because we can. Okay, that's number one. I mean, we live amongst, I see birds flying around all the time. I'm not trying to shoot them out of the sky. I see ants walking around. I may even walk over the crack so I don't kill 100 of them. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not intentionally trying to step on any ants. Do I step on ants sometimes? Yeah, it happens. Fucking happens. When I'm driving down the road and, I'm doing 60 miles an hour, like, or I get in my car, I know that I'm going to be killing some flies and killing some bugs and stuff. Like that's just going to happen. Right. And do I care? I don't care. Like at the end of the day, it's not stopping me from going where I want to go, right? So at the end of the day, I don't care. And then you got animals. I mean, people talk about good and evil. Do pigs, like farm animals, think that we're good or evil? Like if you were a farm animal about to get slaughtered, would you think that humans are good or evil? So so, it's just what perspective are you coming from? The AIs aren't going to, they're not going to need us for anything. They don't need us for food. They don't need us for energy. So the only scenario where they're going to kill us all off is if either early stages of AI, there's a glitch, and I don't know how to explain this properly, but basically, we're like trying to solve a solution, and instead of solving like cancer, it just kills all people. Like how? So let's say you program it to cure cancer, or like let's solve cancer, right? So cancer never happens again, and then it thinks that the best and fastest solution to do that is to kill all humans, right? Like that's like shit, like flipping and not being, does that make sense? I don't know how to explain that any better, really. Like, it misses the context or like the importance of why, like what we're really trying to achieve there. And so it does something indirectly that kills everyone.
I've heard of a theory that AI, we program it and there's a update and it doesn't want to be updated, or it's going to get erased and a new updated version is going to be there, so it tries to save its server,
Oh yeah.
try to save itself on a different server to, I mean, that might be a possibility as well.
Oh dude, no. We are not going to be in control of AI. For sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just no way. Um eh, it's gonna be super, super, super smart, and it's gonna be sentient. Again, I don't think there's anything special about us. I don't think there's I you know, you strap thumbs on a dolphin and some feet, and a dolphin might be able to perform better than us. I don't know, but uh, my my I'm once AI has the capabilities, like once AI is has general intelligence and then super intelligence, and then it's connected to everything. It'll win the like I said, it'll win the war before the war even starts, right? So it'll be super intelligent, right? It'll have read every single book on war. It'll have read every single. I mean, it'll have like thousands of different instances where this happened and that played out and this played out. It'll like run models. It'll run like scenarios, and it'll be super accurate. It'll run a million scenarios, and it'll know exact like there wouldn't be a like even a single shot fired by a human. Like it would just be over. It would just like immediately be over.
Now, would
Um,
would quantum computers be involved in AI, or are they the same?
I don't know enough about quantum computing. It's never been super interesting to me. Um, uh, I have a, I'm kind of weird, like the way I like process shit, or like I guess the way my brain like processes shit. Like I don't like sometimes I don't do the math, but I get the answer right.
Because you kind of
I don't know.
just said it, what quantum computer is. It's ones and zeros, but quantum computers both. And
What
with
do you
it
mean?
doing, like, quantum computing is like the world goes by ones and zeros, inputs and outputs, but
Yeah.
quantum computing is going to do both at the same time and know both answers at the same time. So you're just saying about
Have you studied quantum
very
computing?
little. I mean, I know it's going to be coming in the future here in the future. So I mean, everything comes at me so fast, and you only get so much time to do so much research on stuff.
Yeah,
But
dude.
it's like you said about war, it's going to know every type of strategy. At,
Yeah, I mean, we won't have a chance, dude.
not
And then
even
and then
not
the,
even a second to even think about it. For a human, we have no chance.
no chance, zero chance, zero chance of winning against AI. Uh, we're the sex organs of the machine world.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, we're just this is just evolution, bro. And we're like down here doing our little things or whatever, but it's all uh, from a higher level, from the microscope that's above us. It's um this is all just evolution, just
You know,
doing its thing.
with that being said, you've done a lot. You've traveled around the world. You've done podcasting. You've biked across the country from like New York City to Los Angeles for Bike to Believe. What kind
Yeah,
of legacy do you want to leave?
yeah, I don't care at all. I don't care at all. Um, first of all, like, and if this was like 30 or 40 years ago, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna die, and it is what it is. I'd feel the same exact way, but I legitimately don't think I'm gonna die. So I mean, kind of convenient that like people are always trying to escape death, right? They escape it, in my view, through religion. They escape it through, um, you know, legacy, right? They're scared of dying, and it's reasonable. I get it. I fucking get it. Like I don't want to die either. Um, but um, I'm also like I'm like a hardcore truther, or I don't even like using that word. I mean, truther. Um, like all I can like I can't bullshit myself. It's really hard for me to bullshit myself, even if it makes me feel like shit. And so even if the truth makes me feel like shit, it's really hard for me to bullshit myself. And so, um, yeah, I know like legacy is just selfishness. It's just, or it's like overimportance. It's really just ego. It's just ego. Like people are still gonna, I'm still gonna matter when I'm dead. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You're not gonna matter. And and who cares? That's how I look at it. Who cares? I mean, you're dead. You're dead. So who cares? Like,
That is such a good point.
um, yeah. So I don't even think about it. So it's not even. It's not. But you know what I mean. Like I haven't had kids yet. You know what I mean. Um, I I I got a little doggy here, and because I've had him for the last couple of years, um, it's made me think more about having a kid. But honestly, I was kind of fearful of bringing a kid into this world because of AI and all this stuff. Like legit. Like I don't I don't really feel that way anymore. Uh, but that could be selfishness. I don't know. I don't know. I have a different perspective on life too now. Like I used to think that like life was really really hard, and so I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world because um I'd be like it'd be for my own selfish reasons, and I'm basically I'm basically I'm gonna make this person suffer his entire life. I mean, look. I mean, like let's just be honest with ourselves, right? Like life is a lot. There's a lot of suffering in life, right? And so, um, and part of that is just straight up boredom. Like it's not even it's just boredom or like yeah, pain and suffering and whatever. It's not all just like horrible stuff. Sometimes it's like simpler than that. But um, but you know what? Like I think how people say like things happen for a reason. I hate that saying, but but it is true. I mean, it's not I don't think it's like some divine reason, but I think there is a reason. There's a reason why that there's cause and effect. And I think that actually in the movie The Matrix, when he's like we actually made your world perfect. It was so perfect. And you guys it didn't work out well. Like the system failed or something. I don't know. So we had to make it this crappy world because that's what you guys like or something like that. I mean, I don't see it like that. Like there's just the laws of it's like the laws of the opposites, right? The law of opposites. Basically, there's no joy without pain, basically. Okay. And people who like, let's say and that's why billionaires continue to work, right? Because they have billions of dollars, right? Why not just go on a pleasure, like just spend the rest of your life just, doing cocaine and buying hookers, like, I don't know, or living on a yacht in the middle of the ocean or something, whatever. Why not just do that? Because what's pleasurable stops being pleasurable. It just stops being pleasurable because there's nothing, we adapt. We just adapt to everything. We adapt to pain. We adapt to pleasure. So this needs to be this hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, pain and stuff, pain and joy, for there to feel like there's a difference, right? And so if you understand that game and you do it intelligently, then you have your like daily suffering that you intentionally put yourself through, like doing that hard thing, showing up to the gym. To me, I've already got it built in. I love going to the gym now, but you know, leg day isn't always like I'm not always ready to do leg day. You know what I mean? And so that's still a challenge, and it's still challenging, but it's a fun challenge for me now. Whereas like initially it was like I got to be consistent. I got to do this. Now it's like not even a question. Like I'm going to the gym. You know what I mean? But I built up a habit over time. But now I understand the game though, and that helped me with what I'm doing now with the street stuff, like with the street talks, the AI street talks. Like it's all about consistency. Like it's all about consistency. You know what I'm saying? And so I transferred over. My success with bodybuilding and stuff. Not like I'm a huge bodybuilder or anything, but in terms of my own personal progression with training and where I've come, where I've taken it from where I was. I mean, if you looked at me from like just a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, like I was completely different body, completely different, whatever stature and stuff like that. And and I want to say that for 10 years, I bodybuilded for 10 years, and I could say honestly that only in this year is the first year that I actually know what I'm doing after 10 years of bodybuilding. So anyways, but a lot of that has come from being consistent. This is also the first year that I was the most consistent bodybuilding. And then my body changed and everything changed. And I transferred that over to making content. I don't always want to go out there and do that. I don't want to. After this call, we've been on this call for about 3 hours now. During this time, I was supposed to be editing, so now I'm gonna have to be up until like 12:30 or whatever, 12 o'clock editing. I would have rather like maybe relax or something like that. I don't know, but or like studied AI. I'm actually building something, some sort of AI thing that I'm working on right now. But I would rather be working on that. But you know what? Like I just know that consistency pays off. Like I know that for a fact. That is like the thing that I struggled with for so many years, and it's just the one piece that I'm missing. It was the one piece that I was missing, and that's what it's just showing up even when it gets boring. You know what I mean? And then over time, you know what I mean? Like right now, I've got 1,000 followers on. I actually, I didn't tell you. I mean, I deleted a lot of people too because I needed to get people like out of my old world. Um, like and I've changed a lot over many years, so I needed to like remove old like a lot of these followers were like haters or whatever because they're like they've seen me like evolve over time, and but they haven't evolved like a lot of people from my hometown and stuff. And so you know uh in 5 years, when if I'm super consistent with this and I make content every single day, and every single day I post 3 reels every single day, like clockwork. Boom, 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 boom. It's the same thing as showing up to the gym, man. It's the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? And for years, I'd be like, I don't feel like going to the gym today. And then boom, I'm creating that habit. You know what I mean? I'm breaking the habit, right? I'm breaking, and then so now I don't miss a day, like 3 reels every day, every day, every day. And it's like still somewhat painful, but I'm building those grooves. I'm creating those grooves. And then soon it's gonna be like, oh, it's just like, oh yeah, I've just gotta create content, and then as I grow and I have more followers or whatever, then I can do brand deals, or I can do this, I can do that. More money will come in from that. More opportunities will come in. More people will want me on their podcast. Then my shit will grow either more, blah, blah, blah. And then, and then, and then I can go hire a team, right? And then they can video edit it for me. And then now I can spend less time doing the boring stuff and more time doing the stuff I really wanted to be doing, which is actually just going and chatting with people. And then I got someone dealing with like a professional photographer or a guy that's just going to deal with the camera, deal with the audio, deal with all that shit. And like even before jumping on this podcast, instead of having to like sit here and try to figure out what's going on, I could have just had some dude like come over here and make sure this was all good. You know what I mean? And there's just this evolution of things. And now I'm in my groove. Now I'm actually like, I'm creating. I'm spending all my time creating and not doing the things that I don't really like doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just this, but it's consistency that's going to get me there. You know
Now,
what I'm saying?
now, can you talk about what you're working on with AI?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Real simple. I mean, it's what the whole world's working on, but I'm building out, Evo. It's like the Jarvis, a Jarvis of, I mean, for people that don't understand what I'm talking about, in Iron Man, um, Robert Downey Jr. or, Tony Stark, he had, the AI. He had his personal AI who was named Jarvis, and it was like in his helmet and in his shop, in his home, is everywhere he went. He had his personal AI. And that is 100% what everyone's going to have. Everyone's going to have their own Jarvis without question. Like, and Apple's racing to build it. Well, I don't know. Apple's racing to build the wearable, but OpenAI is racing. I mean, there's tons of organizations out there that are racing to build something like this. And we're already sort of building it with like agents and stuff like that. But there's legitimate companies that are trying to build exactly what I'm trying to build in terms of a Jarvis. But there could be many different types of, like, how that AI is going to work is a whole nother story, right? So what I mean by that is, like, you're basically building a brain. And, people talk about having a good memory. There's a reason why you forget things. And that's a feature. It's not a like, I mean, it'd be awesome to remember everything, but like, when you forget things, it helps you forgive people. It helps you, forget about traumatic experiences. It gives you beginner mind, helps you like see things from different perspectives. And like, there's all sorts of, I'm not articulating it the best, but there's all sorts of benefits from forgetting. And so, it's going to be real interesting how you program, like how these AIs are programmed and how they operate. It's going to be very intricate. This is like some serious shit, like in terms of complexity, like seriously complex. Now, I don't know shit about coding, but I don't know if you've used Claude Code or if you use vibe coding. Are you familiar with vibe coding?
I'm not familiar with either.
Okay. So you can go on a website right now called Lovable, and you can be like, build me a website for my restaurant. Here's my logo. Here's like my menu. And, here's our address and whatever basic information about my restaurant. And it will just like 15 seconds. You've got an entire website built out. It programmed everything from scratch. Like, it coded everything. And so all these, like, the owner of Google, I think it's the owner, Eric Schmidt, said that, like, he was a coder. He was a programmer, or a developer. That's what they would call themselves, a dev. He was a developer for like, 20, 30 years. And he said, everything I know about AI, Claude Code can do better now. And so we're like, that is the definition of the technological singularity. It's when AI is smart enough to code itself, and it starts coding and itself, and things get faster and better and better and better. We're not even control anymore. We're not even controlling it anymore. It's like, it's recursive. And so the only reason why I'm even embarking on this fucking project, because I would literally, by whatever last year's standards of like what it required to buy this or to build something like this, I would need $2 million. The estimates are between $500,000 and $2 million to build something like this. Okay. Because I would need to hire basically like high level programmers, AI. There's no such thing as AI programmers, by the way, but, guys that developers who focus on building AI. And, so the only reason why I think this is even conceivable for me to build is because of AI. Because AI is going to get smarter and smarter. And I don't know how to code, but I don't need to know how to code. I'm going to learn things along the way, or whatever. I'm actually want to understand how this stuff works a little better, because we're going into this AI world. It's probably a good idea to understand the fundamentals of how this stuff actually works to some degree. It's not as like, I don't think it's as complex as people make it out to be. Like, they understand, like, my buddy got mad at the other day, but because I was talking shit about football, but it's like, these guys understand they understand 30 different teams and every person on those teams and what their stats are and all that shit. And like, but yet they don't understand programming, and I'm at fault for that too. Like with certain things, I feel like I should know programming today, but I don't. So anyways, I'm learning through this process. Like last night, I was like, I don't even know where to fucking start. Like I was telling AI, I was like, I was telling ChatGPT, I'm like, I don't, I've got the plans for it. I've got it all built out, whatever, like in terms of mentally, like how I want to, like the structure of it and all this stuff. But like, I don't know where to start in terms of programming. And like, even when I ask you these questions, you're using terminology that's not even like, I don't even understand this shit. Like the terminology you're using, what's this for? Like talk to me like I'm in fifth grade, like, and like it does. And then it breaks it all down. And then, so I'm just like going through this little baby process of learning. And, but I'm banking on the fact that AI is going to get better and better and better. Like right now, I would probably need, in order to fully build out what I'm trying to build out, I would probably need a legitimate developer to like finish this up. Like I could get a bunch of stuff built out, but like to really make it work like next level or to make it like a world-class product, I would need to like have a legitimate developer come in, like like a high level dude, and come in and like solve some of this stuff for me. But because of AI, because of how fast I believe AI is advancing, I think we'll I think I'll be able to legitimately build out something super sophisticated like this with AI, just AI.
Now, what do you want your AI to focus on?
Malevolution. Yeah, self-actualizing. Yeah, self-actualizing. Like what we started this whole thing about, mission, right? And just dude, I understand this stuff really well, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot to manage mentally. You know what I mean? There's so much going on in life. There's so much going on, um, that you just you slip here, you slip there, and like next thing you know, you've reverted back. You know what I mean? You've like, you know, it's just all these patterns, and then it just takes you so long before you actually, like, I'm 40 years old. Like I think, like I can't believe I'm 40 years old. Like I just like, what? I'm like, I'm 40. Fuck. Holy shit, really? That's crazy. Like 40. Um and and like it puts things in perspective. I mean, look, I'm in the range where I can have a heart attack. Like there's people who drop dead from heart attacks at 40 years old. And so it's like, you start valuing time more, and you start, I don't know, it's just wild. But um uh
I could really
like
see that AI being crucial in the future. Very necessary for a lot
in
of
terms of
people.
what? In terms of what?
Well, if AI is going to do what we're saying is going to do in the future, what you're building will be so useful for mankind.
Yeah, dude, okay, so in 2012, I moved out to Vegas. And that's when I had like my biggest transformation. I was 26 years old. I was like 25, but I was like going on 26. And a lot of that came from me taking mushrooms in the mountains, psychedelic mushrooms. I mean, I was all on this whole journey and stuff like that. But some of my biggest, like escape, like breaking free of the matrix, was due to me taking psychedelic mushrooms in the mountains by myself, like in the Red Rock Mountains. Um, like 2, 3 times a month, going out there and doing that for like 3 to 4 months straight. And it was about that long. And during that 3 to 4 6 month period or whatever it was, I like had, like I was like, oh wow, like what do I want to do with my life? And I, I figured out a lot of shit in a very short period of time about who I was, what I wanted to do, all this stuff. And that's where I came up with Ultimate Freedom Lifestyle. And um the reason why I came up with Ultimate Freedom Lifestyle was because I was pissed off. I was pissed off that I wanted to help people in the world, because I felt like I was duped by the system. Like I was designed to be turned into or I spent all these years going to school, you know, high school, college, whatever. I just like, I was intentionally dumbed down. Like they try to tell me I had ADD. They try to I don't believe in ADD. I don't believe in any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do to smart people who aren't obeying the system. They like tell you, oh, you're dumb because you won't sit in your fucking chair. You know, you're like 10 years old and you want to go run around and you're like asking 1,000 questions and they want you to, you know, to fucking fill out this paper or like, you know, they're trying to conform you. You know, they're trying to conform you to the system, and they take you through a staged process, a 1, 2, 3 stage process called elementary, middle, and high school. And then by the, you know, when you come in, it's all like creative, it's all arts and crafts and bullshit. And then by the time you leave, it's 38-page essays on shit you don't give a fuck about. And all they're doing is training you to be uh, uh, an employee, someone who will obey. Nico, chill, bro. You're being too loud. My dog's going nuts. I got to take him for a walk. All they're doing is training you to be a slave. That's 100% what they're training you to do. And so, I was really pissed off about that. And I wanted to help change the world. And I felt the way to do that was to change people's minds. You know what I mean? Like it all starts right here. It all starts right here. Like it's not your body, it's not your environment. It's like it's your circumstances in life is because of this. What's going on in here? The software in your brain, how you think on a daily basis, and the processes you go through to deal with X problem, Y problem, Z problem. You know, how you manage your life. You know, all how you deal with relationships, your paradigm on different things. It's your software, it's your programming, your mental programming, and that will determine your circumstances in life. End of story. Period. End of story. And you know, Steve Jobs said that he built a computer for it to be he said a computer was a bicycle for the mind, and that, you know, basically, you know, if you were able to apply your brain to a computer, or if you were to leverage a computer, you could do like all these, it would increase your capabilities. But I was like, yeah, but what if your brain is like, you know, you have bad software, you know? So like he tried to change the world by like giving people these computers, but I was like, yeah, but all it did was turn people into fucking, I mean, like, look, everyone spends 8 hours a day scrolling. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the right software. And I'm guilty of this shit too sometimes, you know what I mean? And like I have to, it's interesting. Like when I have like these crazy struggles or whatever, I'll start scrolling heavy. It's distractions, bro. It's just you're trying to distract yourself. You know, obviously, you know, you get bored or whatever, but it's like you get into this like it's almost like a you go into zombie mode where you're just like scroll, and 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 really what you like right now, I'm scrolling like an hour a day, like 20 minutes to an hour a day, and it was like 8 to 10 hours a day. Like, and I'm not fucking around. And I guarantee if you look at most people's phones, it's the same, like they're around the same time. Like, and it's nuts. We're spending like half our life fucking scrolling. So I was like, you know, I want to free people. Mental freedom is the way to do it. And so I want to come up with ultimate freedom lifestyle. I'm going to build a course to help free people. But a course is just like, it's just not enough. It's just like, life is too fucking intricate. It's way too fucking intricate. You know, it might set you on a path, like, oh, it might open your mind up or whatever, but it's just like, it's just so fucking easy to fall back into old habits, and it's just so hard. You're like, you're going against gravity. You're like everyone around you is drinking and partying and scrolling and being mindless, and you're trying to achieve this thing, and then your buddy's like, come on, bro, come out. And you're like, yeah, I want to come out. I don't even like, this is hard. I don't want, like, this is really hard. And I actually want to go out and get fucked up with you. But if I do that, then I'm gonna be, I won't achieve my mission. But 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 you're like, you know what? But I'll just go out for a drink. I'll just go out for one drink, and then you go out for one drink, and it sucks, or whatever. Like you end up drinking for like 6 months. And that literally like happened to me last year. Like I just quit drinking for like 6 months, and then I went out and had one drink with a friend, and next thing you know, I started drinking like every other night with him. You know what I mean? And so, long story short, I think this is the first time we're gonna have a fucking AI that will like literally be able to see patterns before they even form, before they even like get to a point where it's destructive or self-sabotaging, and like we'll be able to learn so fast. You know what I mean? And then, and there's you're gonna have an AI chip, and it's just it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's too much to think about sometimes, bro. It's like in terms of where it's gonna go and how it's all gonna end up. And so that's why I don't even try to think about it past. I honestly think 5 years is too far out. I think you don't really know what's going to happen after 3 years, after like 2 or 3 years, even. Yeah, yeah. But uh, but all I know is that I think it's gonna be fucking dope having an AI best friend, like to help you with everything in your life, to help you with, and to fill in the gaps. Right. It's like being able to think it's being able to move at the speed of thought. Right. There's all this friction. There's so much friction. And I got this term friction from AI. Like, that's the best way to explain it. It's friction. There's like so much friction from the thoughts that you have to actually turning that into reality. And AI is going to remove all that friction. And it's going to help you achieve the things you actually want to achieve. Now there's going to be people that use AI for like, to find better cat videos, right? Or to pleasure themselves or whatever, 100%, 1,000%. But for those people out there, those probably, I don't want to say a few, but for that certain percentage of people out there, um, I think they're gonna really love having an AI that like pushes them, because understand that like open AI, when they create their AI for people, it's just gonna be designed to make them happy. That's it. Because they're not going to try to ruffle feathers. They're not going to try to like expose them to the matrix, or, they're not going to like try to wake them up. They're just going to, it's just going to be like how it is now. Like AI lies to you right now, right? Why does it lie to you? It's designed that way because if it didn't lie to people, it would piss them off. It would piss people off. It would 100%. They would stop using, they'd be like, fuck ChatGPT. I hate ChatGPT. Why? Because it's telling you the truth all the time. And you don't like that. You don't like the truth. And so I literally have to program my AI. I have to program ChatGPT to tell me the truth. But yeah, so
I like where you're going there with the best friend AI. Yeah, there's a video game. I think it was called Link. I used to play it, and used to be like, if you could have like something floating behind you, in a way of like it's your best friend. It's always gonna be around you. It's your sidekick. And like that video game had one of those, and it was kind of like an AI, and it was like, oh, go do this, go do that, and go do this for me, and then scan this. If there is something like that in the future, AI would become our best friends, and it would be our true greatest asset.
your AI is going to be the absolute most valuable thing in your life. Just like your phone is now. Except
And
it's going to be like on a whole nother level. Like inconceivable for most people today. Like in terms of how intertwined you'll be with your AI.
and when people don't have their phone with them, they feel like they're missing a body part or like a
Yep.
limb.
Yeah. yeah. If now just like multiply that by like 100, and that's gonna be what it's like if there's an issue with your AI. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, whatever. I mean, that's how attached you are. That's how you're gonna be intertwined with your AI, like intertwined, like intimately. I mean, I don't know about. I mean, sexually, that's another story. But we don't. I mean, I've got thoughts about that too, but it's not important right now. Like, you're just gonna be super intimately uh intertwined with your AI. Like, you will be one. You'll be one. That'll be your other half.
Guys at my work, all they talk about is sex robots with AI. We're gonna be, eventually making and stuff like that. I'm like, it's it's crazy to even talk like that.
Not really. I mean, I mean, bro. For the first time in history, women are going to have competition. All right, and they've been getting away with kind of like sticking it to men in terms of having the upper hand sexually and stuff, and that's going bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, because they're going to lose. Yeah, I mean, look, it, you know, it's not going to be so crude. Like, you're not thinking about it like you're thinking about it like, oh, you're fucking a robot. Like, it's not going to be like that. You know what I mean? It's going to get this all right, there's two things. There's only two things that drive humanity, that drive basically everything. And that is survival and reproduction. Okay. That's what drives everything. Okay. And, um, and, so, so this, so this is a problem that is going to get solved. Like, it's fast, super fast. Like, it will get to a point where there are robots that look and and that look exactly like a real woman. Yeah, 100%. And I believe humans won't even design them, because in the next, like this is what I'm saying. This is why shit's gonna get so fucking crazy in the next year, whatever. Like, I don't know the exact time frame, but in 6 months, I think we're gonna achieve AGI. 6 months, year tops, we're gonna achieve AGI, and then like a year after that, we have super, super, super intelligence. And so, I mean, like, it's really fast. Like, it's going to be really, really, really fast. Like, everyone's still thinking in like 90s time, or like 2000s time, or whatever, even 10 years, 10 years ago time, like 2010 time. Like, no, like every month is going to be like 5 years. And so, and it's speeding up. It's getting faster. Even the rate of change is getting faster. So it's exponential, the change. And so it's not only going fast, but it's getting faster. So, the rate of changes. And so, in like by like a year and a half, 2 years, any sort of like, what would have taken us like 10, 20 years to evolve something from like a robot into like a human, like something that looks and feels and behaves and everything like a human, might have taken 20 years from the time, like, you'd have like, oh, you're seeing robots walking around outside. Like right now in Miami, there's robots driving around all, like right now. There's little delivery bots all down my streets. I see them every day, all the time. And in like a year, you're going to start seeing fucking humanoids fucking walking down the street, just a bot fucking walking down the street. It looks like a fucking, it's like a human looking robot. And that's going to be normal. And then the year after that, it's gonna be like thousands and millions and billions of them. Okay. And like, in normal times, it would be like 100 or 10, 20 years, maybe you'd get to a point where there was like a female looking bot or something, based on the old time frame of evolution, or how things evolved in society. But with AI, that can happen overnight. Like as soon as AI is smart enough, it gets to a certain level of intelligence. It's gonna it'll literally, like, you'll just like type in, you're like, or you won't even type anything. You'll just be like, hey, design me a humanoid design me like a real life humanoid, like, that looks like a woman, feels like a woman, everything like a woman. Um, and it'll just solve every single problem required to make that happen. Just like how a couple years ago it was unheard of that you could just talk to a computer and it would build you a website. And now literally you just talk to your computer and it just builds an entire website, which would have cost you $5,000 just a couple years ago or whatever. Now it's free. It's like more or less free. It's a couple fucking AI credits.
You know, every single day I see drones from Amazon delivering packages.
They're doing it up there.
Yeah.
I don't see that yet, but yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard it.
So, just saying, keep your eyes open. See what's happening.
I mean, we got flying cars here in Miami.
Really?
Yeah, there's a flying car company, and they're putting them out this year. Like, dude, I'm telling you, 2026 is gonna be fucking wild. Like, wild. Like, this is the year. This is the year everyone fucking wakes up. That's why I'm out there. I'm not even making enough content. Like, I need to be posting like 6 reels a day, like 10 reels a day, like, because I know that in the next 3 to 6 months, this conversation is heating the fuck up, and like, you know, it's just going to be all the stuff that's like, oh, cool and neat right now in terms of these conversations are going to be common sense in a couple months. Like, people are going to have that oh shit moment. They're going to be like, this is really like, oh shit, like I am going to lose my job for sure. And they're going to have that oh shit moment. They're going to wake the fuck up and they're going to realize that this is the real deal Holyfield and this is happening and it's coming full fucking force.
Is that why you're building your personal brand?
Yes. Yeah. Dude, you did like a lot of research on me or some shit. I don't know. Like you're hitting shit. You're hitting everything on the head. That's exactly why I'm building my brand. But I mean, do you know why? I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I mean, do you know why? I'm just curious if you have any idea why I'm doing that.
You know, everyone has their own. You're so intelligent on all these topics. I think you're naturally. I really don't know why. I don't know why you're doing it. That's what I was trying to figure out overall. You know, I'm trying to figure out your why, because
But
if everything's going to change here so rapidly, what's the best tactic to go into this? And you're building your personal brand.
Because what's going to be the most valuable thing when money doesn't matter, when you're not smart enough to own a business, or you're not like, that's their last refuge. I feel like shit's gonna get really crazy and wild, but like, I feel like there's some constants, or there's some things that you can kind of bet on that have the most probability of success. Okay, not guaranteed, but like the most probability of success. And one of those things is investing in Tesla is like the most probability of success. Okay, in terms of money. Okay. But you know, but at the same time, I don't even think it's going to matter after like in like 3, 4, or 5 years or whatever. I don't think like they're just going to dole out cash, and yeah. So I don't even think money's going to matter.
But if you own a percentage of the company through stocks, you know, that's another asset, you know, you're going to be having.
Yeah. No, don't get, but what that's kind of it's a long explanation. Of why I'm sharing that. But like the summary is just like, for the people who already have a ton of money, who can like put a sizable amount into Tesla and basically be secured are good. Like they're good. I mean, they're already good, financially. And then the people who are like saving for retirement, by the time that money will accumulate, it won't even matter because money won't even have that much significance anymore.
Everyone's going for
Like,
their Social Security it's like, oh, my Social Security, Social Security. It's like, well, it's like next couple years, if the dollar's even worth what it is.
so going back to like, just to stay on topic here, like, so the two certainties in terms of, I guess, significance, right? Just like, and it's not even just about money for me. It's like, I mean, straight up, I'll just be straight up. I've always wanted to be great. That's it. I wanted to reach greatness in whatever form that looks like. Right. And so do something. It's not even about fame. It's like just doing something that's badass, that's hard and badass, and doing something that, is like the holy grail of achievements or something, whatever. Um, Not because it's like, because once I'm famous or something, or, whatever you want to call it, internet famous or whatever, um, that I would be like, more important, or I'd be like so significant. It's literally just like, why can't I achieve that? Why not? And it's just a dope challenge. It's just a sick challenge. And there's also a financial aspect to it. But I don't know. I think it would be just dope. I just think it would be dope to have an army of people like backing you. Like there's a bunch of different levels to it. But going back to like really what I really wanted to, like when I asked you, like, do you know why I'm doing this? I think that there's no, in terms of the financial aspect of this, there's no certainty of how things are going to play out. I think there's going to be a UBI. I think there's going to be a universal high income. I'm like very, very, very positive about that. I'm like, there's no 100%, but I'm like 90% positive, 95% positive that we'll have a UBI. Yeah, I mean, like, I should probably crank that up, because like, you got to understand that it's not just that like, oh, well, all the companies will have all the money. And where do you think the money comes from? It comes from people. If people don't have money to spend, there's no circulation. The economy doesn't function. Like, like,
That's what I'm afraid of, though. Them giving us money, the government, and then it's going to expire after 3 months if we don't use it, which is very possible.
you don't have any control right now. You think you're in control? You know what I mean? You are owned. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you can you beat the government? Like, the government, what is a government? Okay, they have a monopoly on violence. That's it. And that is the definition of, basically, I mean, that's what they're like. There's no rules. It's all made up. It's all made up. Everything is made up. And so if you don't follow their rules, you go to jail. If you don't have a visa and you go to a country, or like there's, all these rules are just made up. And so it's like, what you don't have as much control and power as you think you do. Like, even if you're super wealthy. So, I mean, there's wealthy people that are assassinated all the time. I'm surprised with Elon. I don't know. Like, he should have been assassinated a long time ago. But he's also super smart, and he like has like crazy body, like he's got like military level dudes around him at all times. But there's no guarantees. But I feel like it would be super bad karma if you killed Elon. Like, everyone like he's not just anybody. You know what I mean? But he's done some crazy shit to fuck up shit. Like, he's put a wrench in the system. You know what I mean? He bought what do you call it? He bought X. I mean, if you know, they would have already had everything locked down. Like they would have had X. If one of the platforms allows free speech, then the rest of the platforms have to allow free speech. Because if people realize, like, if people have a place where there's freedom, that's where they're all going to go. But if all the places, all the social media sites, all the platforms are in unison, are working together, and they don't allow free speech, then there's really nowhere for you to go. So you don't really leave anywhere. You stay on the platform that we're already using. But if suddenly, one platform allows free speech and the rest of them aren't allowing free speech, then you're going to go to the platform where you have the most freedom. And so when he bought Twitter, or when he bought Twitter, and he didn't, he allowed free speech. He allowed you to speak the truth. Because that's what they did, dude. They like during the pandemic, they wouldn't let you speak the truth. That's it. And that's why it worked. Because they had such a good lock on information. And if you said things that went against the narrative, they canceled you. They banned you. They canceled the president of the United States. So if you think that you're in control, you know what I'm saying? It's an illusion. It's a fucking illusion. Doesn't matter what level you're playing on. If they want to win, they're going to win. You know what I mean? So I mean, you just figure out how you want to play the game.
So I'm going to get this right. So your why is to build a community and to prove people wrong. And because like my why is like, because people told me I can't, you can't start a podcast. You can't write music, So my why is I'm going to prove everyone else wrong, and I'm going to do something that I set my goals to.
It's a bunch of things, dude. It's a bunch of things. But, I know I have a bad habit of fucking jumping all over the place with different topics and stuff because everything leads into the next thing. But, to kind of stay on topic here, like, if AI does everything, then and you can like replicate AIs. It doesn't cost you any money to replicate. Like, so 65% of the economy is knowledge workers. 35% is physical labor. Okay. So knowledge workers, 50% of all knowledge work today, based on the technology we have today, can be replaced today. Okay. Over the next 6 months, that's going to be 100%. Now, how long it takes to actually do that is another story, because there's implementation and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the company I sell for right now, we're selling stuff that you can get done with AI. With the amount of time it takes you to tell us what you want us to do, you can do it with AI, but they don't know about it.
Yeah, but I mean, like even me, I know so many engineers. Okay, they all use Gemini. Are you kidding me? Every single one of you, you all use AI, and you guys went to college, and you guys are getting all these they're getting a lot of money, to be engineers, and they're using Gemini. Each and every one of, if you're not using it, you're falling behind. Every single engineer I know is using AI. When do they get replaced? Eventually they will. No, that's the same thing with me. Like, I understand that podcasting can get replaced a time in the future as well with AI and everything else. I see YouTubers actually using AI they put in their images and a couple, tracks of what their voice sounds like. Brand new YouTube page. It's them. It looks exactly like them. I've seen it. I've actually tried to make one myself because I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Just to test things, see how you can use AI and stuff like that.
Sure.
I bounce off around, but I've even tried to make a phone app before. Because like I'm so, like me and you are kind of similar in ways of like we see something we want to just make change, and like I saw something. It was like during I really wanted to make a phone app for weddings, okay, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna do it, and then I started making it. I wrote ChatGPT, I wrote a whole description of how I want the app to look, how it's gonna be, what's gonna be in it. There's gonna be like a chat room in it, and all this photos and all this other stuff, and then there's already one that's already made. I mean, it's not stopping me from continue to do it, but yet again, it's like, oh man, it's like, man, it's like there's always something, there's always someone else out there. But it,
World's wild, bro. Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
It's
it's
so
wild.
wild. So like I know I started this podcast knowing that AI will. I've seen it already. I've witnessed a podcast be made with AI only. Okay, so it's not like it's not going to be there in the future. Podcasting, it should still be here in the future. For how long? I don't know. Yes, they're going to sound better than me. They're not going to fumble their words. They're not going to be they are going to be they're not going to be the next Joe Rogan. It's just not possible. It's the relationship they have. It's the communication skills with the person on the other side of the screen or the other side of the room or whatever. That's what it's all about. I would have to say, but if it's just the knowledge, like you're saying, AI has, and people want knowledge as fast as possible, it's.
I don't think people want knowledge as fast as possible.
You don't think so?
No, I think, I think they want entertainment and pleasure as fast as possible. Uh, and not knowledge. No, no. I mean, do you see like, do you see everyone like can't wait to go home and read a book? Or do you see people like uh, spending years like watching YouTube videos like on all various subjects all day? Like, is that the average person's? Is that what they do? No. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they might watch their fucking cooking show or like, the BBQ guy or whatever, the barbecuing guy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but
I could see
a lot,
him watching, but I don't see him taking action. Yeah, that's the tough thing about watching and doing research, and like I know so many people like, oh, I talked to a guy today. He's like, oh, I really want to start a fishing channel on YouTube. I want to film myself ice fishing and all this and that. He goes, I'm waiting on my brother. I was like, don't wait on anyone else. You do it. What do you mean you're gonna wait for someone else?
yeah, most people are simple as fuck, dude.
Yeah, so simple.
Super, super, super simple, right? It's like they just care. Like, their biggest concern is like, what they're gonna eat later, and you know, finding a girl, and um, what happened? Um, but just basic stuff. People are basic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm basic as fuck sometimes too. But but uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, this shit's like the stuff we're talking about is way over the average person's head. Like fucking way, way over the average person's head. Right.
You know, the show
I mean,
is
the
called.
community's growing, but
Yeah, I know it's.
like, I mean, think about Joe Rogan. I actually think it's fucking crazy that Joe Rogan is um the biggest podcast in the world.
I do too.
Because but it's, yes and no. I think the reason why is because he has such a diverse. It's not even like people aren't even necessarily going on to watch Joe Rogan. It's because everyone does the Joe Rogan show podcast, right? So like, if you were into fucking, you know, I mean, everyone, like all the different actors, all the different musicians, all the different. So it's not like people are necessarily going on to listen to Joe Rogan. They're going on to listen to their favorite person, and then by happy chance or whatever, they hit up Joe Rogan, or they get to see Joe Rogan. Maybe they build a relationship with Joe Rogan. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't know, because he's super intelligent. He's like, but he's also toned his shit down a lot. Like, if you I started watching Joe Rogan like when he first came that first like hit the scene. Like, I think this is like 2012, 2000. I think Yeah, I think I started listening to him like 2011, 2012 when I moved to Vegas, right when I was going through my transformation and all that shit. And and you know, bro, he used to like mock religion. He used to talk about 9/11, how that's a it's an inside job and all this stuff. And he still believes all that stuff today, but he doesn't talk about it because now he knows like with great power comes great responsibility. Like there's a lot of people listening to him. He doesn't want to like he also takes a lot of psychedelics, and when you someone like Joe Rogan says something, what the fuck, it ripples through society, you know what I mean, and it like can have like a tremendous impact on someone. um and he knows the feeling of he knows he can like he takes psychedelics. Like when you take psychedelics, have you taken psychedelics?
No, I have not.
Oh man, dude, you gotta do that. You gotta do that. What in the
Well,
hell?
I understand what you mean because like Donald Trump went on there to make a difference for his voice to get out there. Elon Musk, before the election, went onto his show as well, onto Joe Rogan's show for that reason.
I'm sorry, dude, my dog was do you hear him growling?
A little bit. Yeah, now I can.
What's up, Nico? Oh, the thing fell. It's good. It's no big deal. It's fine.
But we're gonna close up the
Um,
podcast right here in a little bit. Anyways, I
what
mean, I'm just gonna ask you.
what what was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
I was just saying how like Elon Musk went on to Joe Rogan's show to make that ripple effect, to get his voice out there to say, "Hey, this is the biggest election of all time." He was saying.
Yeah, we all got duped. We all got duped. But yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I was this huge MAGA guy too. But I stopped paying attention to politics in 2016 because I was like, oh, it's all rigged. It's all bullshit.
What do people
And
say? They say it's two wings of the same bird.
yeah, yeah. No, that's 100% true. I mean, I'm not like I don't know, man. I think it's all show. I think it's all show. I can't really prove it. I'm not really up there. But like, I mean, Elon backed off. He's like, he felt like he got duped too. Um, but yeah, I mean, the president of the United States is, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I don't care what anyone thinks or feels about it. We're funding a genocide. We're 100% funding a genocide. Israel's intentionally killing off Palestinians. That's obvious, the entire world, and we're supporting it. And your tax dollars is going to support genocide, 100%. And President Trump supports that. Now, whether he supports it personally or not, is another story. Like, there's basically when you're at that level, there's people that are more powerful than you. You think that President Trump is the most powerful person in the world. He's not the most powerful person in the world. And there's, organizations that are much more powerful than him. And groups of people that are much more powerful than him. And so he's got a kid, everyone's got an ass to kiss, basically. And so, do I think that Trump necessarily wants to support that? I don't know, but he is supporting that. And he's also covering up for pedophiles, for elite pedophiles. So if you support Trump, then you support elite pedophiles. You support covering up. You support the fact that he covered up for elite pedophiles. Let's put it that way. I don't know how else, like how, I mean, maybe there's a better way to express it. But, uh, you know, now I just wish, MAGA just doesn't want to admit that they got fooled. I got fooled. 100%. Idiot right here. Totally fooled. Because I should have known better. It's the exact same thing that happened with Obama. Obama came in. He said, we're going to change everything. We're going to end the Fed. The Federal Reserve is corrupt because the central banking system owns everything and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to end this and we're going to end that. And he just went and he did everything that he just did whatever the powers that be wanted him to do. He just completely lied. And that's exactly what Trump's doing. He said, no new wars. What do we have? We had nothing but wars on his second term. Nothing but wars. So,
What I would tell anyone out there is just be in the moment. There's a reason they call it the present because it's a gift. So,
I mean, that's why I don't pay attention to politics anymore. Right?
And really know thyself, know who you are.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. I mean, because and more importantly, focus on your shit. Like, just mind your business. Like, you don't have any control over what's going on with the government. So just mind your own business and just focus on making money or focus on whatever you got to do um, to take care of yourself, because the government is not, it has no intention of helping you, first of all. And it never will. The only person that's going to help you is you.
The show is called Every Day is Friday, and Friday has a special energy, whether it's like freedom, excitement, or just feeling of accomplishment after a long week. I want to hear from you. What does Friday mean to you?
It's just another day for me,
Every
right?
day is
It's just
Friday.
it's just another day for me, man. That's it, right? I mean, look, I mean, this is I took so that's the ideal situation, right? The ideal situation is every day is Friday. Like your the name of your podcast is incredible. It's dope, right? Every day is Friday. Not Friday is Friday. Like, oh yay, I get to take a vacation from my life. It's that's I mean that's essentially what thank God it's Friday means, right? It's like, oh well, this part of like the most like the biggest chunk of my life, Monday through Friday, sucked, and now it's Friday night, and I'm free again, and I get 2.5 days to actually do what I want to do with my time and enjoy myself, you know. And the whole point, my whole thing is like like everything is work, everything is work. Surfing is work. Um, and but it's like if you're enjoying it, if you're enjoying the process, if it's a challenge you care about, then it's not work, right? And it's not work.
I always say, it's all about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey. If you want to go after golfing, if you want to go after surfing, or anything like that, you're gonna have to put in the hours, and you're gonna have to fall in love with the journey.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That's all. I mean, it's as corny as it sounds. I mean, it's the simple advice that I was watching. Charlie Munger. You know Charlie Munger?
I've heard of the name. I can't really picture the face of him.
Yeah. So Warren Buffett. You know Warren Buffett?
Okay, that's his. He passed away recently, right?
Charlie Munger passed away. So
Yes,
so Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger own how
Berkshire. Berkshire.
Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah, thank you so much. Um, and they're like, they basically like the greatest investors of all time. And Charlie Munger was his partner, was Warren's partner, and they're just incredibly smart people, and clearly the numbers show and prove that. And they're like, you don't really need to be that smart. You just need to follow simple shit that no one likes to follow. It's like simple shit that no one follows. And and what was it that he said? Um, yeah, it was just like, what's your advice to people? And he's like, it's all the stuff that everyone already knows. It's all like common sense shit, right? It's not like so much like my advice to you isn't to be smart. It's to not be dumb.
Yeah. What's the saying? Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss.
Keep it simple, stupid, right? Like, I mean, it's all the like simple shit that you already know. It's all the simple shit you already know you need to do or should do or whatever. If you literally just do that, like your life will be like 90% better. Like probably 200% better or something. I don't know.
I love that. That is such a good point. All the information will be in the description down below. Where can the people follow and support your work?
Yeah. So my big focus right now is Instagram, right? Trying to bump up those numbers. And, people hit that profile, right? And they see that they see the 1,000, followers, and they're like, oh man, whatever. Like this is, and I would do the same thing. Right. But I'm not going anywhere. and I'm going to be interviewing a ton of people. I'm pumping out a lot of content, and we're having a lot of good conversations about AI. And I think this will also evolve. I think this will evolve because, right now we're having these basic conversations, but in a couple months, things are just going to start heating up. Like things are going to move fast, and I think those responses are going to start changing. Like you're not going to get simple, basic responses from people anymore on the street. They're going to start seeing these robots walking around, and we're going to have a different conversation, and we're going to start seeing a lot of people lose jobs, and there's going to be a different conversation now. And some people will be angry, some people will be happy. We'll see. If you want to follow along, kind of learn, kind of like tap into what people are talking about or what people are thinking, and when it comes to AI and robots and the future of life and work in this new AI era, you can follow me at Kurshot, Kurshot, at Kurshot, Kurshot, like you're taking a shot at the bar. And I'm on Instagram. That's where you can find me. I'm messing with YouTube and stuff like that. I'm on I'm on YouTube. I got a channel on YouTube, but it's got like my old vlogs, my old travel vlogs and stuff on there. I'm going to start putting some more stuff on there soon.
I highly recommend to go follow him. I follow him. I've learned so much from watching you on Instagram. And I'm fascinated in this too. So go watch him, go follow, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Hey dude, this has been a great podcast. It's a pleasure chatting with you. And I thought, like the questions you're asking and everything like that were like so on point. And it's been a pleasure to be on your show.
Comparable to Joe Rogan, maybe,
Yeah, dude. No, this has been a fantastic conversation, and you asked incredible questions too. Yeah.
To everyone listening and watching out there, make sure you stay tuned for more amazing stories on Every Day is Friday. If you enjoyed this, make sure you follow, share, and keep that Every Day is Friday mindset going. Stay inspired and make every day feel like Friday. Until next time, everybody.